There he is. All right.
Hey,
One
fellas.
to go. One to go. Waiting for Andy to say something.
Unmute.
There it is.
I'm gonna say unmute.
We go back in time. Look at that background.
Yeah. Got to my, well, I'm back downstairs.
Are you talking about this back in time?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I bet it's a different angle. I'm trying to address the sun at 5:45 situation.
We missed our 3-year anniversary last week, August 16th.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and yeah, Andy, I think there you've had a little progress. I mean, you can see
Oh yeah.
Is that from the first one?
that's the first one. Pilot, my pilot,
Oh,
pilot
really?
or whatever.
Pilot,
Yeah.
my pilot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Man,
That was,
wow.
I've come I've moved 4 feet, well, two or 3 feet in that time. Changed my angle, got cancer, went through a pandemic. Faced my addiction with marijuana.
Look at us now.
Yeah. 3 years,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
something.
it's a thing, I guess. So congratulations, guys. But
Yeah,
also the other big news, of course, is that it's a Saturday, and we don't normally record these on Saturday. So I expect this show to kind of have a different kind of vibe to it, a Saturday night party vibe.
Well, that's
Whoa.
up
I'm
to you,
expecting
man.
big things.
Oh,
I think, like I said,
That's
think
you
this is
putting
gonna have extra
expectations on us,
Saturday
bro.
night.
I don't know about that.
extra Saturday night juice.
Yeah. It's like going out and trying to get laid, though.
You don't want to think about it too much. right?
Yeah, it's not gonna. It never happened.
Yeah, you don't want to talk that way going out, I guess. All right, this will just be a regular show, but
should
I
be
just want
like-
everybody to know out there that it's Saturday night here.
And
And you'll probably notice it when you see the energy levels and the commitment.
there was a little bit of grumbling about last week's. We didn't do a show, but I think I went all through chemotherapy and we didn't miss a show.
Yeah.
Like Cal Ripken, once he set the record, he took a day off.
We did 2 during the fucking pandemic.
Yeah. Fucking
Yeah.
ungrateful commenters.
Probably not
So
even
there's
Patreon
some
anymore.
there was some dissension amongst the viewers, listeners that while 2 of us are working full time, me basically 24/7. I'm on call all the time, and Chad out getting ready for elk camp, which happens once a fucking year. Or no, you're going to whitetail. You're going-
Well, I just finished this week whitetail. I'm going turkey hunting. So yeah.
Okay, so in the midst of all that, we can't take a fucking week off. Or are they mad because we tricked them?
We tricked
Wait till
them.
they find out we're taking 2 weeks off. That'll fuck them up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you think you don't like what just happened? Oh wait,
Yeah, it's gonna happen
by the time
again.
this goes out,
Yeah. Not only are we not returning the documents, we're storing them. We're letting people look at that shit.
Yeah, we're doing it right now.
Fuck. I'm golfing with the bitches.
I saw that picture too.
Yeah. It's fucking the thumbs up, man. He's I'll say this about Trump is he found his winning pose. And a lot of us may think he looks like a turd, but we'd think that anyway. But he's got a go-to pose, the thumb up, and it has the other people do it. And it's like Fonzarelli or whatever made it
Yeah,
popular.
Chaille, see if you can find a picture of Trump.
I'm trying because I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't need
Well,
it.
I'm gonna tell you.
I'm taking the clues that Andy gave me.
Okay.
Well,
Trump,
he always
Thumbs
he's-
up, and I'll do
know-
Google images, and we'll see.
yeah, most of his
And
pictures
golf,
like
he said golf.
and then
Golf.
well, who's I'm thinking of Hedgehog. Hedgehog always did the you gotta he knew how to do a picture. I'm saying that
Hedgehog.
Hedgehog. Who are you talking about?
Ron
Ron
Jeremy.
Jeremy?
Yeah, he always had, if you did a picture with Ron Jeremy,
Wait,
he told you how
knew-
to.
I've never heard him called Hedgehog before. And Chad, you knew that one?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
I
heard
knew
that.
it too. I just wanted Andy to put a little fucking context in his
I have
description.
never
That's-
heard the Hedgehog.
He's an Ike. Yeah, he was. I guess because he kind of looked like one. I would assume.
That's probably a number of reasons.
Yeah.
Is this it?
No.
Yeah, I mean that's his
Suppose, but
there's women who know how to stand for a photo so they look taller.
Or they
Yeah.
cross their legs.
That's-
They look
yeah.
stand on
slim.
one hip, kind of throw one hip out. There's a picture of Trump floating around this week of him golfing with Lindsey Graham and some lady at Russian lady who
Mar-a-Lago.
passed herself off as some sort of financial person and got into Mar-a-Lago and hung out with them and got their picture taken.
I wonder how ridiculous
She's a
she could have
Russian
gone.
spy, probably.
And she's probably an operative. Yeah, an
Probably,
active
for
operative.
sure. I mean, she's a
Yeah.
Russian national, and what else is she doing there?
I'm trying to think of like what would be the clumsiest, like a Inspector Crusoe spy that could go into Mar-a-Lago just blatantly, tipping off people and saying you
There
want
it
to
is.
buy documents and shit. And then you'd probably, I mean, what a fucking crapshoot that, it's weird.
Shame on Lindsey Graham too, because okay, we know Trump's a fucking
Graham.
idiot, but Lindsey Graham's been in the game a while. He should at
I-
least have someone with some vetting
No.
skills.
Chaille.
Do you think
Lindsey
he had-
Graham has been? Lindsey
He's
Graham
not-
sold his soul years ago. He is.
Yeah.
I think the term I saw that I think applies here is lick spittle.
Yeah,
That's Lindsey Graham. I'm gonna even look that up.
that's when you
Seemed
knew
right
these
when I read
guys
it, but I'm not even
are so
sure.
full of shit.
Not
It's
to be
like
confused with spick little.
Whoa.
Big
Completely
Little.
different
Oh
insults.
man, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Did you shoot a deer?
Awful
Walking the
bad.
line there, Chad.
Chad,
Yeah.
did you
I was
did
just
you
trying to
kill
put
on
a,
the
something
board?
besides politics in here.
did
for a
you
minute.
did you murder your
You
whitetail?
did it.
So you decided on racism?
Well, we got to mix it up, guys.
What's the difference? Hey, politics is
I'm trying to
racism.
class it up here. You guys are talking
What?
about politics.
I know it's hard to steer clear of politics
About to
because
look up-
racism falls under that now. Religion falls under politics. Yeah, it's so we can hate on Jesus. We just don't want to identify the political party that he has a lot of support under or whatever. Christ didn't die for your sins. He wanted your vote. And he was a fucking he was a showman. That was his big clothes. Yeah,
A lick spittle, as Lindsey Graham most certainly is. You can see him there in the red shirt with leaning in for the fucking disgusting half-ass
Yeah.
smile.
I
A lick
hope-
spittle is a noun that means a contemptible, fawning person, a servile flatterer, or toady.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's right there, right?
Yeah,
pretty
that's-
accurate.
That guy could be
his,
wearing a
his-
shirt that said Toady, and it would be
Toady.
appropriate right there. I can see it.
Right. Everything
God, he
about
sucks
it.
so
Everything
bad.
you don't even need to know who the people are. You would know Bully and Toady.
Yeah.
So
Right
let's
there.
go back to Red Sparrow over here that's in the picture with them. Can we assume that this is probably, if there was a Chinese menu, so to speak, of like what Trump would like, this would be the female because
Mhm.
Russia's gonna do their due diligence to make sure they get the girl that
He
most
probably
wants
hasn't
to fucking
Yeah.
be around.
he probably hasn't had any pussy since he left the White House. It isn't a spy. There might be one or two bar
Yeah,
card hags
you're
that
right.
work their way up, waffle fucking
You're
whore
right.
or whatever.
The
But,
spy line to fuck Trump is gonna be long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he thinks he's handsome and he's like all
Yeah.
these chicks come up to
Debonair.
him and it's like a fucking bad Bond movie or something.
You're
Only
right.
He can't even figure it out. All the too much makeup MAGA hat chicks that want to fuck me. He's like,
Yeah.
ew, no, there's hot ones over here. Yeah, those are the spies, dumbass.
Yeah.
These are
I
the real
appeal
ones.
to every hot female, and in fact, if it has a vagina, it's swooning over me.
It's probably what it's going to boil down to was one of the factors why he took the documents because he knew he'd get pussy.
Uh-huh.
He's like,
Literally is one of the reasons. He thought it was cool and he wants to show that shit to his friends at
Yes.
parties.
he just happened to be
Absolutely.
Russian.
It's really embarrassing that the scandal and person that are really gonna just like, as this, he slowly is unraveling our country. And the fact that it is this dumb person has all of these incredibly inane reasons for the things that he does.
It's kind of perfect.
Mind-blowing if this is what it is, you know?
Yeah, he's getting
This is
people.
what ruined it.
Yeah,
Is that
one
TV
fucking
show over? Or are they going to do something else? Is there another sequel to that TV show that they were showing?
Yeah.
Is that just it now? It
Oh,
just
I think
goes
there's
to the
going to be a
wayside?
spinoff.
Yeah, it could go a couple different ways right now.
All I know is I got my Joe Biden fucking shirt and my Joe Biden hat.
We didn't have to
That's-
talk
that's-
politics, Chad. I'm sorry that we jumped.
It is kind of.
You guys are good.
Well, there's
Funny.
a-
You're being
uh,
funny.
There's another thing I wanted to talk about. I saw that one of the states is approving corporal punishment again, so you can SWAT kids in school.
Yeah, I think
and,
that was
really?
maybe
That's-
Tennessee. I think that was
that's
maybe
political.
Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee. That's politics too, but it's like they want to. I mean, they want the shitty parts of our childhood to come back, or whatever. It's like I don't think I ever had a satisfying teacher relationship that involved swatting, like getting hit in the ass, and it was always awkward and
Yeah.
probably on their end a little bit of a turn on or whatever. And it's just it's like fuck that.
Yeah,
Bring back praying in schools and beating kids.
right. Well, they
Yeah,
want to
the
get
good
the
old days,
government off
Andy.
of your back, except in the cases of the government hitting you or arresting you. They're for that because they're not going to be the ones hit or arrested. That's the idea.
Right.
You know, it's
Yeah.
freedom. It's freedom for them, freedom to do whatever they want. And it's, fucking hard nosed.
Oh, man. That picture Chaille's got up. That's a pro swatter right there. He's got the kid's head
Yeah.
between his legs. So he's teabagging and swatting.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
Probably blasting some mud on the back of his neck so he can smell it all day.
Holy
That-
shit, Chaille.
What's that other kid critiquing it?
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
it
they
looks
were-
like that one got it already, and that
One's
other one,
already
is,
gone.
I don't know.
You want to go second or
First.
third in that
Second or
situation.
third?
Yeah, because it's like I know one time I got swatted and it was my grade school principal. Forget what was going on, but he had a few of us in there for swats, and I danced around and carried on after he hit me a couple of times, and he laughed. Guess he was less of a sadist than some of them, but he gave me a couple of whacks, and I danced around or scooted or whatever. And
Imagine that though. Like, imagine if you go home after that day of work and your wife's like, "How was work today, honey?" And you're like, "Oh, funniest thing. I laughed so hard today. I was hitting a bunch of children in my office." And
Oh,
was just so
My
funny.
arms, my shoulders sore, honey. Could you give me a rub? Yeah, just beating all those disobedient kids
yeah, I had to
that
spank
wouldn't
about
line
two-
up and be quiet after we gave
Yeah.
them soda pop and fucking cheesy pizzas.
They didn't in my grade school. We didn't tolerate no sugar.
No.
Oh, we did. Well, I mean, but our lunches.
Well,
were.
back then it wasn't sodas; it was that
I guess-
fucking fruit punch.
I can't
They
even
bring
remember.
it in the big fucking container from McDonald's, and it was
We
orange
never had any of that shit.
punch.
We
Yeah.
never had any of that shit. We had milk.
a
Good
container
milk.
of milk. Yeah.
You got white milk, or you could get chocolate milk, and that's when you were
Right
living.
there,
If
that's
you had an
sugar
extra
milk.
quarter, if you were bougie with the extra
Oh.
quarter, you could get chocolate milk at
Yeah.
my school.
I was on low income lunch tickets, so I had like and for no reason they could have just been red. They were just red, that's just how everybody's are. But the reduced lunch tickets were a different color, or I
Uh-huh.
think they put a marking on them. So I had to go
Yeah.
through the line and be identified as a kid who was. So I don't think I could have upgraded to chocolate.
Separate the pores.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
the tickets should have all just been tickets.
I don't
No,
know
that's
how.
not the way some of them do it.
Yeah,
They want to identify the pores.
That's
so that-
bullshit. Why would you do that?
That's
But
that's
they're-
the reason why my mom would never take it. We were poor as fuck, and she would not take advantage of any sort of help because she didn't want me to be embarrassed. Little did she know
Wow.
I didn't have any fucking friends anyway. Everybody
Yeah.
made fun of me anyway for other shit. So I was like, I'd rather just have food, Mom. I don't give a fuck if we have food stamps. I'm already getting picked on.
you need a low income lunch ticket, Chad.
I'd rather, yeah. I'd rather be embarrassed and have a sandwich, Mom.
Yeah.
I got the same food as everybody else, but with
So
twice the stigma.
it should not have mattered whether you were low income or you couldn't pay
Right.
for it.
I
You got
know.
the
It's
same
just-
lunch. It
Chaille-
should have just been a ticket.
Yeah.
Chaille grew up in the
grade school
liberal
ours
bastion
shouldn't
of
be
California where, you know, they didn't go for that.
Yeah,
kind of
Orange
stuff.
County, we
Being
just went out
kids
to
on
the
the
field and
liberal.
picked oranges and sat under a tree and someone
Yeah.
threw us a bag of strawberries. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
great.
it's not all paradise everywhere, Chaille, like where you grew up.
Oh, it's not?
Oh,
Orange County
Some of
is
us
a
have it rough.
paradise. Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
had white
agree.
milk or chocolate milk, and I think that was exciting when I think you had to have white milk till like third grade or something, and then you could
I
get
got-
chocolate milk or whatever. Maybe it was even earlier, but it was exciting when we got the approval.
In elementary school, we had a field trip to a dairy farm that was like in Orange County where I was, you know, where paradise. They had, there were a lot of dairy farms still. Altadena was a big one out there, right? So we went out to I can smell it. We went into the line where they were producing the milk that went to our school. And that was the thing. And we're going through, and there's this big line of, you know, all these open, like this container right here. It's open at the top and it's gonna get the milk, and you see the milk's in it and it's going by the thing. And no one's wearing a hairnet. No one's got anything on. We're walking by, just shuffling by. We're looking at it. And then as it proceeds down the line, it gets closed and sealed and everything. And there's a guy standing there, a lady actually, and she's pulling some off and setting them down on the ground. And someone goes, what's going on there? She's like, those are the ones with flies in them. And we look down and there's all these containers that haven't been sealed yet, just like the ones we're going to drink later, that have flies on the top of them. And it's this, there's not a robot looking for that. There's a person.
Just the ones they caught.
And that's the fly that's floating.
Imagine.
I
Yeah,
never
she's
drank
like-
school milk after that.
Yeah, she's like, I'm so affected. Look, 100% of my cartons down here have flies in them.
Yeah.
I'm
You
really
don't
good
want-
at this. It's like, yeah, I don't know if that means what you think it means.
Maybe you
lady.
need to recalibrate something first, like up the line or down the line a little bit.
They
You
told
know-
me in training that 2 and 5 would have flies, but they didn't say which 2. So
Yeah.
I just picked 2 at random.
I just grabbed two.
Yeah.
And they always
If I
do.
don't get fired. Sometimes I put flies in there if I don't see them, and then they all float at the top at the end.
She brings
Ugh.
her own flies to work, so she doesn't even have to try.
Yeah, job security.
Thinking of that Napoleon Dynamite scene where they're eating lunch on the job out, like it was the chicken rendering place or something.
No, yeah, they're pulling chickens to put in the cages for processing.
That was
Chickens have big talons.
What? That show, that movie
What'd
really
you
did
even say,
show
boy?
what life was like in that, probably in that, what was that, Idaho?
Yeah,
It was fucking- yeah.
that wasn't far off from Walnut, Illinois.
I was
don't
gonna
know.
say Erickson probably has a couple
There
of
was a-
stories that were
No,
lifted straight from
FFA
his
was
life.
big. The FFA was big in Walnut.
Yeah,
I even wanted to join the FFA once when I was in high school for about a week. But my parents
they-
talked me out of it. They're like, what are you even talking about? You live in town. You've never done anything. Like you barely mow the lawn when it's time. You have to be talked into that. What are
I
you
want
gonna do?
you want a sheep, I'll take care of it.
yeah. What was going to be your?
I don't even, it never even got that far. It's like when you float the idea of, joining the army or something, the parents are like, I don't think you're gonna fit in that.
The FFA was cool 1 week a year when the fair, you go to
Yeah.
the fair, but I had my
Well-
mishaps and troubles at the fair, but I always enjoyed walking around the livestock barn, and it seemed like the FFA kids were like, man, those guys
Mhm.
fucking cool. Look at their
Party.
jackets and shit. And it's
Yeah.
not cool at all.
I totally still dig that because I just saw John Norris and his lovely new his family
His
went
calf.
to they're at the Alaska State Fair. And they took a picture. I think Cass Smiley, the comic Cass Smiley, I think she put something in there or something, but they took pictures at one of the, the big Quonset hut where they've got flower arrangements and the biggest pumpkin and stuff. Up there, they get fucking huge produce because it all comes from up north. And yeah, I still like doing that. I don't.
Mhm.
What's the?
Yeah,
what's
but joining
beef
the
with checking shit out?
FFA, that's not the same as joining the FFA.
No,
Sheila.
it's
That's
not.
like a high school class you have to take. You have to
You can
Yeah, they had that in my Paradise High School,
Of course they did.
but they would kill. I was just telling this story to my mom the other day.
Take
The,
slaughter in class.
They would bring the abattoir truck right there
What?
on the abattoir,
What's that mean?
the butcher.
What'd you call him?
Abattoir?
the
Abattoir?
abattoir, a bald knob. You should make it all educated for the people of Bisbee.
They would
I've
roll this like
never-
you've never
I
heard
already
of an
looked up
abattoir?
lick spittle.
All right. Well, hey, this is our vocabulary.
Yeah, this will
episode.
be a very, follow
did it
along
wrong.
at home with your own dictionary. And I don't know how to spell that, but I think there's a DIC.
I think there's a
Dick.
something over
Dick.
one of the O's. Hey,
Sean.
we would when I was in junior high, we would go down to the Future Farmers of America, the 4-H down in at the high school, Sunny Hills, and we would just be fucking around down there. We would just walk around the stables and stuff like that, and we just hang out down there, right? And one day we rolled up, and they had it looked like a Hertz truck or a U-Haul, right? The one with the box on the back, and inside of it was all those cows we used to come look at and feed. They were all hanging with no skin. They had been completely stripped, and they were still shivering.
Wow.
The nerves were still shaking.
Oh my
And,
God, that's
They were
disgusting.
doing that right there at the school.
Yeah,
I
I saw
Well,
it.
abattoir. Do you know?
I could
Well-
barely say it.
I've never heard of it. When I was a kid,
neither.
I was
Thank you.
my mom married a cowboy guy for a while, and that I got to learn a whole bunch about that lifestyle. But I was a little kid, and I didn't even know what we were doing. We just went over to this corral, and the next thing I knew, they had a rifle on the top of the cow's head, and they shot it in the head with a 22 and dropped it. I remember being appalled. I was like, "Oh fuck, what the fuck just happened?" And then they
Yeah.
just tore in and started butchering it. And by the end of the day, had the head. I was playing Mr. Ed with it. I was so desensitized
Wow.
to that shit. It was, and then I saw it all the time for a little while. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I
I'm not
went on
finding
a
anything
field
even
trip
close
and
to that
saw
word.
cows get hammered in the head or bolted or
Yeah.
bullet. You never forget that. Almost,
They had a slaughterhouse that wasn't too far from Walnut, and there was a time. I never tried to do this, but there was a time when working at that place was like the popular thing to do because they paid a lot of money. But so a bunch of my friends did it, and it was like they would all drive carpool together, like this hour drive to this plant, and they all did it for like a week. I don't think anybody lasted more than a week.
No.
They were like on the floor, it was just like,
yeah.
oh, this is great money. They're paying us $25 an hour,
It's
Oh my
300.
God, this is incredible. Then they're
Yeah,
like,
you know,
"I'm
that's
doing- I
why."
can't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one wants to do that.
Yeah.
It's like
So
working in
abattoir
fucking
is actually British.
Auschwitz.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Abattoir is actually British. It's ABATTOIR.
ABA
TTOIR.
abattoir.
Oh, I
And it's
pictured it.
slaughterhouse.
Abattoir.
Yeah, sometimes the like haunted houses will have an abattoir room and stuff like that.
That's interesting. I was not even close to that.
So I did a road trip over to the coast and did a little I just needed to have some alone experience. So I built a shelter. I camped for a day. I had like a fucked up, like my birthday, I went to a place for Denny's for breakfast, and they go, "You got to have the app." I'm the only
Get a free
I
breakfast? You were
yeah,
trying
I
to get
came
a
there
free
for a free
breakfast for your
breakfast at
birthday?
Denny's.
Oh, that's
I
a
did
good idea.
the birthday routine, and then I went so I didn't get a free breakfast. I paid for a breakfast at Denny's. And I went to the shittiest one I could find too, so it was even a double punch. And it's like I saw the crew. And
Why wouldn't you get the app and get a free breakfast?
I don't know how to do that shit.
But I
You know
mean,
how
you
to-
could feign you could be helpless and they just give you the fucking breakfast.
Yeah. Anyway, and then I did the same thing at a coffee place that gives you free coffee, and they said you have to have the app now. So
Did you
I
think
just-
that maybe as you were turning 39 and moving into this next phase of your life, that maybe you would just take a chance and think about learning how to get an app? Because it's really
I could have got a
amazingly
second
simple.
pint of ice cream by loading an app.
It
Andy,
is-
my grandmother never pumped a fucking drop of gas in her car.
Yeah.
And even when they didn't have full serve, she would pull up to the car in the spot, and she'd have her little white gloves on, and she'd sit there until someone goes, "Ma'am, do you need some help?" And she goes, "Fill it up, please." And then it would be that'd be the guy in filling up next to her, and he'd go, "Okay, regular." Or
And he-
she
Nowadays-
never ever touched a fucking pump.
nowadays, that guy would go, "Okay, I'll do that," and then pump his own gas, and then come back and pump some for her.
Yeah,
She probably
for
got
everybody.
ripped off.
Point being, Andy, you could
Yeah.
have got that free breakfast.
Yeah,
it's really
Oh,
easy
yeah.
to get an app, Andy. You have one of the icons on your phone has got a big A on it, and it's if you press it, it's called the App Store, and that's where you can go to get an app, and you can just like type in Denny's in the.
Then I'm on some
the-
kind of government list.
You're on a lot of lists.
You're
like,
already on the list.
My
you can
name's
delete
probably
the app as soon as it's over.
my name's probably in Mar-a-Lago in some closet.
It's redacted. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
You're-
yeah.
You're not. They're not going to come after you.
So then
Not
I
yet.
also I haven't been. So I guess it's just it's like things change. I haven't been out, pandemic,
an
and all
app
that
thing
shit,
now, like-
cancer, and then I went camping. I thought you could just like the old days, you just pull in and camp. Well, a lot of them are you can't even do that, and then they won't even let you into the campground to peruse. Which I can, if I can get into the campground, I can camp.
So wait a minute. So you're surprised they figured out that they were losing money by not putting the ticket booth at the front?
No, they most of them are reservation now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir,
So
did
you-
you reserve
in
this
fact,
on
you
the
could-
app?
No, I would have had. I didn't. So I didn't go. I didn't plan on it. I just got
In
fed up.
Arizona, you can't even show up. You have to do everything on the app, and then they just tell you where your campground is. There's no money at the thing. They want no contact with the Rangers. I love that Denny's their app campaign is never been easier.
Not
Yeah.
easy enough.
Not for Andy. I have an app story that just happened just before we started this, and I'm not sure I understand it 100%, but I think I do. The Game and Fish emailed me and said, download our new app and you can have e-tags. Your tags will be on your phone, so that way you can tag your animal and let us know right away that you've tagged your animal and stuff. So I was like, cool, I'll do that. So I download it, go through all this hassle to link it. It tells me I don't have any tags. Well, I do have tags. I have 2 open tags right now for deer. So I look in there and it goes, oh no, those tags won't show up in it's only tags that you get after you buy, link your account with the app. It's like, okay, I guess that makes sense.
Right.
So I said, well, let me look in it because I need to buy a turkey tag for this week. And look, you can't buy a tag on the app. So I'm like, well, what the fuck is the point of this? I look online, it says, no, you have to go to the store still, just like before, and buy the tag. And then it'll show up on your phone. that you have the app. It gets better because I said, all right, how does it work then? And if I have service, how do I e-tag? Okay, you e-tag, then we'll give you a validation number. And then you take that and put it on some duct tape or something, and you tag the animal with well, I have the fucking tag that you made me buy. The whole thing is completely pointless. So
They
maybe
really
there's
streamlined the process.
what
Yeah.
the fuck? So
Check.
maybe there's something in the future that I don't know about,
Yeah, I just
It was
Chad,
like when when you get direct deposit at work. When Mitchell and I worked at the Comedy Store, we both were on direct deposit, but we would also get a paycheck sent or given to us. We still had to pick up a paycheck, and then so you knew how much you were, with all the information on it, identical to a paycheck and a pay stub. It just says non-negotiable on it, and then there was another piece of paper that was attached to it that said, you are getting this non-negotiable check because you are signed up for paperless direct
Paperless.
deposit. Yes.
So they actually
Whoa.
created more more
extra
paper
piece.
because it gave you a non-negotiable check was a copy of your check
Right.
with
And a
the
piece of paper that
register
said it.
below it, and then they gave you a paper telling you about that,
About what
and
it
then they
was.
also direct deposit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fucking brilliant.
Yeah. The whole thing is saving the trees.
Yeah.
That's whenever they had all the security in schools and everything was big. My daughter was going to high school. I went to her school to pick her up one day, and I go in and they were like, "Do you have ID?" And I was like, "Yeah, ID." And they just look at it and they're like, "Okay." And I said, "You didn't. Can I ask what the purpose of showing my ID is?" You know, and they're like, "Oh, we have to check ID for everybody." I go, "I realize that, but you didn't do anything with it other than just look at my ID. You didn't look to see that this is my daughter. You didn't see if I'm on a list. You didn't compare my ID to anything at all." They didn't understand what I was talking about. I was like, "Never mind. You're doing a good job. You just keep people safe."
You ask questions like that, you get put into secondary inspection.
Jesus
I
Christ.
need to see your ID again. So now we can put you on a list.
You got another ID, sir? Get it out.
Can I have that back, please, for a minute? He just eyeballs you as he writes down your name.
Oh. Crazy.
Yeah. I went
So, Andy-
tubing today.
What's that?
This is what we did today. We went tubing on the Guadalupe
nice.
River.
Is there
not.
water?
It was terrible.
Was
You see
it?
any
It
dinosaur
was
prints?
like tubing on the 405.
Oh, it's the
Oh.
one where it was like nothing
It
but
was
but
fucking-
tubes.
It was just wall to wall fucking tubes. Like, I know there's water under us.
That's fun for rednecks. That's what I grew up. We did
It
that on the
was
Salt
actually good.
River, and then you yell at girls to show me your tits, and then they show you their tits, and you're happy for the.
Yeah, I've been tubing before too. It's fun, but I'm over it, you know.
Yeah.
It turned out to be a
Young
mistake.
man's game.
It was totally the very first two spots where you could get off to the side when a little kind of side beach was there. Both at first I thought it was the same guys, that they had somehow passed us and got to the next beach ahead of us. But it was like the first two had like a group of like 10 guys to like frat boys shotgunning beers. They were all like in a circle and they're like, "All right, you know, and we're like, oh, shotgun." And then the third place where you could get out was an actual beach called Shotgun Beach. And there were 5 or 6 groups of people shotgunning beers. And I'm like, oh my God, here we are.
Yeah. It used to
Dad,
be,
you'll recognize this one. That's the load into the bus at Salt River. Salt River,
and
Arizona.
there were private points where you could go
Yeah.
too. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It wasn't as packed as that other picture you showed, though. If that's
No,
what
no,
it was
no.
like for Erickson, that's horrible.
It was
But
bad,
it was,
man.
people would cluster up and you'd have an ice chest in the middle. It was fun.
Mhm.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
want to
there
do it
were
now at
moments-
all.
There were moments when it was fun, but it was also like, all right, you know, it turns out that tubing is not something I missed. You
It's
know,
something
like,
you got to really
it's the
be
same-
drunk for too.
yeah, I guess, but it's
Junk
also
and
something
water
I-
is just not a good combo,
know,
man.
I didn't say anything because our friends have been wanting to do this with us for a while. But then as we were like tubing, I was like, oh, this makes sense. Like there's a couple times where we had to like walk a little bit, you know. It's like, oh yeah, Texas is in a drought. I forgot. Did
Wait,
anybody
it dried
check
up to where it was
if
so
there's
shallow.
actually
You had to-
a river here?
You
And
went
then
creaking.
sometimes it's really deep, but like other times it's like, oh yeah, that's right. So everyone's just, you know, just packed in together on what's left of the water, and
Yeah.
it's brutal.
Yeah, it's like the warthogs or the crocodiles in Africa when
Yeah.
the mud hole dries up.
Yeah, this is
They
it.
just wait.
Yeah, it was pretty
Well, it sounds like fun.
dude,
And you did that today?
today. Yeah.
Oh, man, that'll take it
man.
out of you, man.
Yeah,
You're
it
trying
was
to
like
cram
4
all
hours
that
of-
living in, you know,
Well,
you got to
it
go
was-
back to the
again, it
factory
was-
on Monday.
Absolutely. Well, that's what, see, this is where I really get upset too, because it's such a high stakes game now. I've got these
Yeah.
TAs on this weekend, And today was a fucking bust.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's like, oh god damn it. That's why I told
And you're worn
Mitchell-
out.
Mitchell's sleeping right now. And I said, well, here's the deal. I'm gonna pound this Red Bull and do this podcast. By the way, I didn't even drink the Red Bull. I ate some chocolate coffee beans for a little
Yeah, yeah.
but I'm like, I'm gonna drink this Red Bull, and when this podcast is over, we're gonna get wasted because we had a miserable afternoon. Oh, and our friends didn't bring any supplies. So they drank all of our beers. We were out of beers by like halfway, not even to the halfway point. We're out of beers. It was a bust.
That's
So,
unacceptable.
yeah, so I
No
got
beers on
48-hour R&R,
Yeah.
and you know,
And tomorrow is
Yeah.
fucking recover day.
exactly.
Make your sandwiches.
Gotta make sandwiches for the week.
The week.
Oh man, so I went into a donut place on the in Reedsport, Oregon, early in the morning, and there was a bit of a line of truckers or whatever, and it was a situation where usually I'd walk out of because I don't need a fucking donut that I got to stand in a trucker line. But the reason the line was going was there probably was there was a little fat little boy working the counter, and he was inept as fuck.
The line built up because of his ineptness, not because everyone was attracted to a fat.
Well, there was a little of that too. The truckers are like, I'd never seen a group of truckers be so patient with poor service because it was a fat little man. And then it was just me and him in there. And I go, cake donut. He didn't understand that cake donut doesn't have to be glazed. I go,
So, Andy, so what was the issue? What were you trying to do?
No, I just had to wait for the truckers to clear out because this boy, each order was more than he could handle.
What was your goal? What you were trying to get a dozen
I just wanted to
donuts?
get a
You wanted
donut and a cup of coffee.
Okay.
And and the cop followed me a portion of the way, so I was just happy to pull off there at the donut place and have him go by me.
Yeah.
Was it a donut place or was it a truck stop that
it's a truck? It's a kind of I've been in this place before. They serve donuts and they think the bigger the fucking offering, the better.
Right.
So they have something called Bigfoot bear claw,
Sure.
I think they call
Yeah.
it. It's just a big giant fucking, it's like, and then they got the maple bars, but they're a little bigger than they should be.
Yeah.
That's their thing there. But they have like groups of old men that get together and discuss either religion or politics or local sports or all of them.
It's like Bill's Tavern in that place.
Yeah, for fucking, and I go in there, I don't really even like their food, but I wanted a cup of coffee, but I always enjoy feeling like I'm glad I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
I'm glad I
Until
wasn't.
the day you've been in there so many times that you realize.
And he gets called up to the big table.
And it's always something if you're just like, I was camping, so, I open to seeing fun stuff or whatever, just observing. But I watched a trucker who just got a donuts and a coffee, and he parked right by, there's a guardrail that separates the donut place from the road or whatever, and he pulled up alongside the guardrail. That's to watch a little fucking trucker try to he just one leg over, but then he's like high centered because he got little legs, and
he's trying to get over the rail.
He almost dumped his coffee and hanging on it. It's like I just saw that, and then I was like, fucking, it just made me happy, the whole experience of having a fat kid. And I go, I want a cake donut, my man. Captain, I called him Captain.
So he had the donuts behind the counter, or that you wasn't?
Yeah, he had to get the donuts. He had a real questionable. Did you really wrap your hand? Did you grab that situation going on?
Yeah.
There were two fat adults working behind him, and they didn't seem to be connected or concerned with, he was like, he's the new cashier or whatever, and they didn't offer help or anything. It was like, and it was a school day. Well, I guess it's still summer, but
No,
whatever the
school's
situation.
in. School's in.
It started
Yeah.
some places.
I
So
don't know that
this fat little boy was like,
he's like
literally a little boy, like he was like.
yeah, like probably
teenager,
first
like a
grade,
15 or
second. It was like he couldn't have been much older than a third grader.
Oh, wait, he was
What?
legitimately a fat little boy.
Yeah, fat little.
Well, you
like
didn't really say that. I mean, you said a fat little
No.
boy at the counter, but that didn't.
yeah, no, he was a
I thought you were
legitimate.
being hyperbolic.
I thought
You're
it was-
talking
it was
about a
almost like-
legitimate.
Yeah, like at
He
that
was being
age.
literal.
At
I
that
have more
age,
questions too, when we get there.
at
I
that
was
age,
Yeah.
raising my
I
hand.
put a store together when my daughter was that age in the garage, like recyclables or whatever, and made a store. And she was cashier. But this was legitimate. They got a donut place, and they put the little fat. He's a little fat kid too, so he's eating product. It slows down. He's eating product. It's just no.
Well,
you
if he
don't-
tried to put glaze on your cake donut, we might have discovered part of the problem right there of why he's so fat. I mean,
He didn't
That's
understand
already-
what a cake donut was because
Well,
he's in
yeah.
customer service and they don't know shit about what they're selling these
Well,
days.
right. I said, I don't want the glazed one. I want a cake donut, just a cake donut. And all right. and then I
he
get
talks like an old man.
Wait, he sounded like a miner from Gunsmoke.
he sounded like Bob Dylan.
Hey,
You're doing it, man. Have a good day.
we're back to the duck.
So then I get in my car and I take a bite out of it, and then they ain't the cake donut at all. He gave me
You
a
didn't look?
glaze.
Wait a
You
minute.
check it?
When you saw him grab it with his plastic bag
It
in
was-
his hand,
It was
Right.
down
Did you
low.
know it
The
wasn't a
third
cake
grader
donut?
got your food and you didn't check the bag
Yeah.
before you got out of your car and drove off.
He probably didn't understand that I only wanted one too.
Wait, how many were in there?
I got one donut, just one. I had
What was
like,
that last statement about?
Well, what you just said, yeah, you didn't understand that you only wanted one.
yeah. Well, I mean, he was like, what else? Man, I just want this and this.
And I have a question. Okay, look at be back in the scene there. You got the little fat boy behind the counter with his plastic bag hands and it's a look of total confusion. You're looking at the display shelf with the cake donut in it. What else is in there besides donut?
Oh, it's all you can't. That's why he grabbed it. It was a low shelf grab, so I didn't bend over.
But there were a
you
lot
know.
of different sundry items, not
But
just
there was
donuts.
big fucking maple bar, lemon.
Well,
it's
maple
like
bar's a
All
donut.
donuts.
they
all
put the
donuts.
cake donuts down low because they don't think anybody really wants that.
Wait,
They
Don't you
want
do the move where you
sloppy-
like get down and like touch the glass like right in front of guy? I want
It
that
wasn't. It's
one.
not the
One.
cleanest place or whatever, but he had it.
Doesn't
It
answer
just
the
was.
question you had.
Who goes there? That's why the third graders behind the counters, no one goes there.
Yeah. Well, it's I don't know. It seemed like it was busy, but it also could have been the people waiting patiently while he wasn't good at his job neither. He seemed to not have a real familiarity with
He's in
the
third
cash register.
grade.
I know,
Yeah.
but he's running the show and nobody's helping him. I thought it'd be fun to just go, all right, kid, I want everything in the cash register. I'm gonna smash your fucking face. Smash your face in a cake donut, you fat fuck.
I'm gonna
What's a
swat you.
cake
It's gonna be
donut?
so funny.
So Andy, what kind of donut did you get?
I got a glazed donut. I didn't want to go back and complain,
A classic? Nothing
I
wrong with
could
that.
have. If Stanhope would have lit into that little man, gone back there and lit into him for giving him the wrong donut, but I just kept on going. But
Wait, what kind of monster yells at a third grader for giving them the
So
wrong
which, the
donut?
two ladies behind the third grade boy, one of them had to be his mother.
No, it was a fat couple. I mean, a larger couple.
So they were his
extra
parents.
large. Well, but when he didn't he didn't
I mean,
look back
for-
and go, hey, I don't know what.
For a guy
know?
who's been abused Did you not check to see if this boy was even, did he belong to someone?
looked on
there?
the milk
Was he blinking
being
danger with his eyelids?
trafficked by the donut
ever-
shops?
You ever see one of the South Parks where they show what they look like as real little boys? This was the real little Cartman, and he just had a fat little face, and it made me happy and sad too that he was like, and
Yeah.
this kid's never going to escape donuts.
I don't know. I think you just look at it another way. This kid is in 3rd grade and he's already had the best job he's ever going to have in his whole life. Getting donuts for people and eating donuts while you're doing it.
Eating the middle out of day old cinnamon rolls.
That's
You
the
know,
best part.
That's the
they
best
just
part,
fill up a
absolutely.
trough of all the day olds, and he, has his way
Or
with them.
maybe
That's
at
probably
5th grade he decides
Yeah.
that donuts is not the way to go, and he fucking splits town. And he
yeah,
fucking and he goes and makes a life for himself away from donuts.
selling low fat yogurt
What
ice
if-
cream.
What if he realizes what you actually want and starts licking the glaze off of one of them before you come in? And
Yeah, I mean,
What if the
you know,
cake
waiting
donuts
for
are down in the
everybody.
corner because they had glaze on them and he's already licked the glaze off? And the owners are like, all right, let's just put these down here.
I believe the cake donuts would have an icing, and the glazed donuts have a glaze, right,
Right.
Andy? Is that what we're talking about?
yeah. Well, cake donuts just plain.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Well, that's
some,
a
I mean, they
plain
have
cake.
like.
That's
they
called a
put
plain
icing
cake.
on them sometimes.
Yeah,
chocolate
yeah,
or
I told him.
sprinkles or-
Shaylee
guess it-
seems to know a lot of donut lingo, I've noticed.
Yeah, I love donuts,
Yeah.
He said abattoir a little while ago.
Well, that is.
but I
I
said
have a
British
question
instead of
before
British.
we move
He
further.
calls
in
them in
because-
conclairs. On claw.
Andy, you
Eau Claire?
mentioned
You mean
mentioned-
Eau Claire?
Oh, sorry.
Eclairs? I don't know. Never.
What's
Yeah,
that?
what's the question?
you mentioned that you went camping a couple of times, but then you said like you couldn't get in. I would
Oh, I got it.
really want to know about your camping. I want to know if you, because it doesn't
Yeah.
sound like you plan on going where you're going. You just
I
kind of
had
wing it.
mosquito
But then I wonder
spray,
what supplies you take. So please.
burning wood, mosquito repellent, a candle, a hammer, and a tent, and a mattress. That was it.
Wait, they're
Basically-
letting you burn open fire
You-
up in
Oh
Portland?
yeah. In on the coast. There's every place has
You're
a
in the
camp.
sand
Camp.
there, then.
You can still burn. We still are green out here, but I
you
couldn't.
camped overnight.
They go. If it's just for one night, but otherwise the campground's full. It's like, well, I kind of want to stay here, so I'm not really, so I did the one night, and then I just drove around it because you find they mark them when people come in, like they're reserved, and it'll say, so I was the Holkham family for 2 days, but it was a 3-day thing, and one night they weren't there. So then I waited till about 7 o'clock the next evening. I was just hanging around the general area.
You
'Cause I
know,
didn't wanna-
nothing good ever comes from
I
someone
had-
who has said, I was
had-
just.
I had two or three options of ones that might be possibilities, but they were all reserved. But the
Yeah.
Holkham family of 5, they didn't show up on one night. So then I was
Yeah.
like, well, they're probably not a group of 5. I'm gonna just, I didn't set.
Ukraine, party of 2. Look for the
Right.
Holkham family.
So I put some firewood in there, and then I just sat nearby. At 7, I set my tent up, and then the next day they still, I stayed there because by then I was the Holkhams. I
Andy,
challenge
what was
you.
your plan at 3 a.m. if they rolled in late because they got
That
a
was
flat
my
tire?
question too. What was his cover story? Oh, this is not mine.
Grandma.
I'm recovering from cancer. I'm a vet. I get confused.
You put your security jacket
confused.
on and your vet hat.
Uh,
Show them your
but-
port.
Yeah. Well, I walk. I'm the type of guy that I used to see when I camp with my family that I told my kid to steer away from.
Yeah.
Don't that campsite up there on the
I
right,
just hung around, just generally hanging around. until-
Mister.
You
Mr.
literally
Holkham.
described loitering.
Mr.
the
Holkham said some
definition.
pretty weird shit in the shower this morning.
Oh, Andy.
You don't want to go near the Holkhams, but so I was, but I mean, not because I was creeping people out, but I'm a you know, a dude with limited supply. You know, I look like I'm on the run by my camping setup. You know, just enough to have out, but you can get in and out of there. I've never been able to. I got this one person tent, and I can set it up in within a few minutes. It takes, you know, like I can do it. I threw away. Well, in fact, I couldn't find the directions, which I would have burned anyway.
Yeah.
But and then after I still can't figure out how to put the rain part on. But there's directions
fly?
there's directions sewed into the bag. So if I ever do want them, that's where they'll be. But I usually break shit like that before it comes to that. But so yeah, the Holkhams didn't show. I had two on the third day is when the, you know, being alone really kicked in.
So
So I
you're
re-
doing that in the morning and
So
try
I
to find a
ran-
place to lay a trot line.
Yeah, I put a drop down a gill net and some traps, and then I drove in to get coffee from the surly cunt that works at the Texaco. You know, like I know you just open or whatever. So she's just setting wood out or whatever, and anyway, she's just a surly cunt. She's like, "Can I help you?" Yeah, I want to get some coffee if you have any. And she goes, "Sure we do." And you know, I just liked her. She was about 40. She was like, you know, she seemed like she should be 75 or 80 with the surly,
Andy, are you telling
cunty,
us everything here? Why
weathered.
would she? First of
No, it's
all,
just-
you don't take the wood in at night at a gas station.
she's putting it out. She's got a wheelbarrow of it. She's putting out. She's getting, you
All
know,
right.
she's behind.
She's
She's
restocking.
behind. I'm there because I wanted to get, this is the, you know, like when I'm out camping roughing it, I drive in to get coffee, and and she was about 5 or 10 minutes later, really getting stuff open. She's hurrying around, and then she's like, kind of like, you know, she's just kind of bad vibing me, like I'm, you know, like should I wait?
But were you
know,
looking
I'm going-
sketchy there too, like you were at the
No,
campsite?
I went. She just would rather. She wanted to finish what she was doing, and I went into the store. You know,
All
if she was
right.
smoking a cigarette, I would have let her finish. But you know, I didn't know there wasn't a second person in there anyway. But but I got.
It sounds
I
like she
did have
hates her job, and you know. and
Well,
you
that's
just
the
happened
coast-
to
the
be there. It
coast,
wasn't
too.
your fault.
the people who I think they're coasties or whatever. They're from the Oregon coast. It's just there's something wrong. You know, it's like people you meet in the desert are all fucked up. People you meet in the coast from the coast of Oregon, they're about. I think it's meth, and then she's probably on the other side of meth, so but it still ages you. But somewhere in there, you get like 10 extra years added onto your face,
Yeah.
and possibly your whole demeanor. But they just, you know, it's like I went, and she was like that the next day too, and then the next day. All
Kept
3
going
days
back.
she was a bit, you know, well, she
I'm-
just seemed to hate her existence and her job servant, you know, or maybe me, because I was the, you know, only one in the store. But it's like,
Well, next year
I'm
for
not
your
a morning
birthday,
person either, bitch.
next year for your birthday, I'm gonna get you a coffee maker for your campground, where you can just make coffee
I did.
at your campground, so you don't have to go into town. You know,
I
you can
just-
run to town every time you need a cup of coffee or.
I
camp
left.
food.
Well, I mean, that's, I left without really, you know, I was upset.
It was
Or
an
annoyed.
impromptu camping.
Yeah, an impromptu. I just needed, you know, like
Yeah, no, I get it.
I needed
But
to
still,
drag
if you have a
around.
coffee maker that you can
Dude,
make coffee out there over the fire, I mean, that would be a nice thing in the
Here-
morning. You can just.
I
You
did
was
a
just-
sub
Come on,
thing
Erickson, don't just,
of a jet
I
boil.
like
they
to,
call
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah, these
another
little things,
another
little
10 minutes,
canisters.
I
You
would've
take your
had-
dab rig and you can fire up your coffee
I had my
maker,
weed.
boil your water real fast.
I know. That's, I mean, there were a few things I would have done differently had, you know, but I left in you know, it was impromptu, and it's like, had to leave the room,
Uh-huh.
guest, and then I just wanted, it's like, couldn't envision how that was going to go. So I just needed a few days to stand by myself in a campsite that wasn't rented. I didn't know I couldn't rent my own, but I made do.
Right.
Ask me any Holkham trivia. 4 kids or 3 kids.
Well, it could be a single dad.
You just got the first question wrong.
Well, I forgot.
And the question
The
you
only
picked.
question you really know the answer to, and you got it wrong.
Or it could have been a grandmama.
Put himself on the spot
I'm
with
sorry,
that
Alex.
question.
I'm sorry, Alex.
They were
Three.
all in one
What is three?
vehicle, so I figured it was one family, and it was 5. So,
Right.
So
I
that
mean,
might have
yeah.
been why, because that's probably a pretty big campground for 5 people, and then you just have your single homeless tent in there. It probably did look shady as fuck. Like, what the fuck's that guy need a 5-person campsite?
well, you can stare at whatever they have, and it's like I look like somebody who was on the run and not went and camping. But I was, I'm Mr. Holkham. I tried to make the most of it when the family couldn't make it. I figured, well, that's it.
That's the Holkham family spirit, Andy.
Yeah,
You did
that
it.
really is.
Yeah. Fight through,
Old great grandpa Holkham would be proud of you.
Like, yeah, to the Holkhams. I was prepared to answer as I had to keep going back to remind myself
Sure.
what the name was.
Uh-huh.
So I was
What,
gonna,
in case the ranger came up and said, "Hey, what are you
There's
doing
Shank.
in the Holkham?"
there's
spot?"
every time there's a couple of times where I was like, I saw a golf cart with a guy and a state guy or whatever driving
They're the ones
towards
who put
me.
the little tickets on the
Right,
campsite.
that I removed.
Yeah,
After-
you're not
they're
supposed
late.
to remove them when
They're
you're
late.
there. That
late.
shows how long you've got it for.
I figured
Don't take it
a
down.
family of 5 isn't going to show up a day and a half late, set up a tent at 7 o'clock at night. But then this was while I was all set up and had the fire going. A thing pulls past me and backs up, and I'm like, oh fuck! And then they pull it. They pull into one that's right across from me, and I had to go over there because I had my phone charging over there. It's like, motherfucker.
Because the Holkhams
Wait,
didn't spring for a 110 site.
Yeah, the campsite for 5 wasn't.
The Holkhams are
luxurious
homesteaders.
And he's spread out all over 6 sites.
Jesus.
Well, they had running
Over here
water
has a
and
better
plug
view
in.
where the Johnsons are.
Why didn't you just take that campsite then? If they had running water and a plug in.
Because it wasn't reserved. That's what that was. But that, or it didn't have a thing that was waiting for
ticket.
somebody. It was. That's why I couldn't rent that one, because that was an RV bus type of situation. But the beautiful thing is nobody said a word. I didn't talk to anybody except for the lady at the store, and then the fat kid.
That
at
wasn't
the,
really a
other store.
conversation, though.
Most of those places have a camp host that lives
Yeah.
there and knows every fucking thing.
Oh,
They
yeah.
probably talked to the
Chatty.
Holkhams. They knew why they weren't going to be there. And
Well,
they were
now
probably scared shitless, Sandy. Like, there's a fucking serial killer at the whole. I'm just
Yeah,
going to
they
ignore it.
Yeah.
He's walking
Best not to go
around,
near 'em.
talking to himself with his shirt off. It's just because I didn't want people to try to steal my mosquito spray. Let them know. It's like when you're in a dangerous part of town, you want people to know you're mentally unstable. I used to do that at Harvey's Comedy Club. I'd walk around trying to figure out my set. Like I had it all rehearsed and shit. And then I would be like out talking to myself, walking around the streets of Portland like other motherfuckers. And then when I'd see them, I'd act all hard about it.
Did you realize what you thought were homeless people in Portland were just middle acts at
Everybody's
comedy clubs
yeah, everybody's an angry
going
white
over their
guy.
show, over their
Yeah.
sets.
Too many bottles of wine. Follow that with dead grandma.
Yeah, white people talk like this. Black people talk like this.
So I got spiritually connected by going out and being alone.
Good for
I
you.
spent a good amount of time
Well-
like a day I'm up early and I pissed in the campground, that keep animals out.
What? You do what?
But when there's
Just a
people
ring
around,
around
you
your
got to
campground
find
to
a
mark
No,
your-
you don't fuck. What?
God.
At a public campground, you're pissing around the fucking
corners.
campground?
You want a raccoon coming in and raiding your night basket?
Don't have a night basket out.
Oh,
What do you got a night basket out for?
Your raccoon
That's not even a
raided me.
thing. That's why when I go to a campsite and I go, Tracy, does this smell like piss? Were the Holkhams here?
You know what it doesn't smell like, Chaille? Raccoons.
Yeah.
Well, that was my character. It's Mr. Holkham who does that sort of thing.
God,
But
Andy just
early in
crashing the
the-
shit out of the
I'm up
fucking
ag-
site.
yeah, I'm
And he's
up
not even
on-
paying for the spot.
No.
I would have if the Holkhams would have wanted, but they don't want compensation. They just like to know. They wanted to know it didn't go to waste.
Got used.
Yeah, it got used, and and I marked it. But one morning I was up taking a leak, and I saw a cat that looked like mine, sort of, and it darted up into the dunes. And I spent a good hour going. I locked my dog in the car, windows down, mostly. Shady too. It was shady and cool.
All
so.
right.
And then I went up, and I spent a long time thinking that was I needed to get this cat.
So wait, you thought your cat must have just like hidden in the car?
I knew it wasn't mine, but I was like, I'll help this brother if I could. He came down. I thought, maybe I'll hook him up.
It was
he
a
could be
feral cat.
Yeah, that's what I figured out after
Yeah.
a while. It was like he was, I thought maybe he was just creeping around back there, and I was like, kitty, and I got myself a little tangled up, but not sure which, I finally did come. I almost walked down into another campsite, which would have been kind of.
Here's Andy's fucking way to get into other people's campsites to see what's happening.
I don't
Mr.
know.
Holkham's here.
I don't
Dad,
mind your own business, but
Holkham's
when you're creeping through somebody else's campground, you want to keep silent. But I almost came down
That's
into
called
one.
sneaking up on.
Realized, oh shit, there's a bike over there. This isn't my campsite, and then I had to go back and reroute and shit. But fortunately, I didn't spook anybody. I was just there to to get like you see it alone after 3 days, 60 days, whatever it is. you got to set up.
Yeah, you got to go.
This is pretty pathetic though. I'm in such bad shape that setting up my tent, I didn't sit down and go like I fucking accomplished something. Like I just made my own chair and made a log cabin.
Yeah, well, still, it was a
Baby
celebratory
steps.
camp for you because
Yeah. Well, and I was
kicked out
also
of your recovery room, and now it's
Yeah.
an Airbnb again, and now life is going back to normal, and now nobody gives a shit.
nobody gives a
Yeah.
shit, and I was
Right.
out there alone
Well-
just to celebrate, not really celebrate, whatever. I was done with chemo,
Yeah.
so and I just wanted to just chill out and smoke a lot of dope and not talk
Hell
to
yeah.
anybody except for people
Good
that I
for
can
you.
control. That's
Good
why.
for you.
Yeah, I ignore people, and then I can. That's what I sought out the company of the surly cunt. And I was real happy when I saw a fat inept kid working the counter, because it was like, that's, you're the two people I choose to be around.
You're
Right
at a
now.
party you didn't even know you were invited to.
Yeah, like to
Uh-huh.
drive a couple hundred miles just to meet you and hang out for a minute, get the wrong donut.
That one of the things that about hunting public land when I've been hunting whitetail this week is other people. That's the worst part, because everybody's trying to just get in the best spots, and there's other people all over. So I
Mhm.
figured out that I could hunt on post. I was eligible to hunt on post, which is not a whole bunch of people. And every day I'd go on there, and you have to check in with your phone and let them know what area you're in. I got there early, and it tells you how many eligible spots are in each one. It was so fucking cool, because it was wild wilderness back in there. And that you're the only person logged in to this area. So there's nobody else usually there's a guy you're worried about hunting the same fucking deer with another guy. And that hunting on post was amazing. Just fucking wild wilderness. You guys would love it.
Is that up at the top of Fry Boulevard there?
Yeah. Get on to post, and you can go back into Fort Huachuca. It goes up.
Yeah.
The canyon goes up. You can go over into I hunted way down into Huachuca City back in there. And,
Oh wow.
And
Did
then
you
it
get
goes
any?
back over. No,
You didn't get anything yet. Okay.
I did not.
Yeah.
But I didn't really try too hard. But it was a lot of fun. But I mean, just there was a few times that I got scared. I almost got stuck in the mud twice, and I realized I'm like, every other fucking redneck that does this kind of shit has a buddy that goes with them, and they tow each other out of this shit. I'm just in the fuck. I would die trying to walk out of where I was if I just was stuck in there.
Did you have your four-wheeler, that side by side?
Yeah, it's 4-wheel drive.
But it's the side by side, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I was in rough country.
I'll get a picture.
That's cool though.
But so much fun to just be out there with
Good
nobody
for you.
around. You know, there's nobody else out there.
Yeah. See, I communed with nature today with 5,000 frat boys and sorority girls. Oh,
Yeah. That sounds like, well, it
was
sounds
terrible.
like a nightmare, kind of.
no, it was.
But at least, at least you're enjoying the resources while they're still there.
Yeah, dwindling as they
Next year,
are.
that river will be
Water.
dried up, probably.
Totally.
Here's a
And,
side by side.
Oh shit.
That's what
Wow.
Chad has?
That's similar to what mine is.
Kind of what he's got. Yeah.
Nice.
That's a Raptor.
Man, if you get that thing stuck, you're back in some fucked up country.
Oh
then, huh?
man, it's
Wow.
But I mean, you can get in situations where you're just
Survivor
kinda
Man.
off center, or you get like the mud or something.
Sure,
Where
but
all you need is one person to give it a tug. Whereas having a buddy there would do that. Whereas if you don't have that, or you don't have a winch on it, I don't know. You got a winch on yours?
yeah. No, I don't have a winch, and I know that's two things that when I get another one of these, I'm gonna get a winch, and I need to get what they call snake gators for hunting.
Oh yeah,
out here,
totally.
because I am scared shitless. And the other day I came across one of the biggest diamondback rattlesnakes
I
I've
saw
ever
that.
seen in my
Picture of
life.
it.
That thing was fucking humongous. And
Explain what a snake gator is.
snake
Like a
gators
boot?
are like the catcher kind of war in Little League.
Like shin
They
guards?
just kind of have a Kevlar, but
Yeah.
they're not pads, they're lightweight, but they have a Kevlar so snake can't bite through them, and you wrap them around your lower legs. So when you're walking through brush and you scare the fuck out of a snake, it
It bites into Kevlar. and
yeah,
Doesn't
it
hurt you.
doesn't sink its fangs into your
God damn. If I'm somewhere where I need to cover everything from my knees down and snake proof, armor,
Yeah.
I'm not as excited to be in that area as some other people might be.
Yeah, if I'm in an area like
It's
that,
just-
I'm not in an area like that.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
I literally, that would be all I would think about. I wouldn't be able to think about anything else. I would only think about a snake biting me.
I would run from garden snakes when I was a kid, so I doubt.
Yeah, all snakes scare me, but even just the idea of that, like, I would be convinced they weren't high enough and the snake was gonna get me right above the top of the snake garter, right on the knee.
You're creating scenarios.
yeah.
Oh my
I did.
God.
I don't even have them, and I was walking through shit that was up through
Oh
my
my
knee.
God, that snake, that picture of that
Trudging
snake that you
through.
posted, Chad, that thing was huge.
It was one of the biggest I've seen. And I'm usually more of a potato than anything else, and I don't never been a thrill seeker at all. But I definitely got kind of a rise looking around, knowing like, fuck, I might fucking just die out this motherfucker.
Might be it.
Yeah. This is not
All the
what-
times I thought it was actually gonna be it, and then here I am out just having fun, just goofing off, having
Yeah.
a good time. I'm finally happy. And what's gonna
Yeah.
happen?
I think
gonna
it would be a
fucking die out
fun way
here.
to go. I was actually kind of pleased with the idea,
Yeah.
like, fuck, this would be nice to die out
It'd be
here. I don't even
hilarious.
give a fuck. It'd be cool. Stuff would be hot. I hope it happened fast because fuck, it's hot out there.
Yeah, you don't want a lot of mosquito bites while you're dying.
I got chiggers.
Oh man, I
I
thought
think-
we were steering clear of that kind of talk.
I think. Oh, dude,
We were
I
down
would
on
be-
Stick Beach, and
When
now
I-
we're
when I came home the other day, I told Jenny, I go, I think I got into some chiggers, and she goes, "That's okay. I still love you." And I go, "Chigger lover."
no. Oh
I don't
no.
know if
Those
you
are
know what
those
they
are
are. They're
like the
like
little burrowing
microscopic
things,
mites
right?
that will fucking bite you, get them off.
I don't think we have
Brush.
chiggers out here.
We don't usually hear, but we don't also.
Didn't say anything.
I'm driving through tunnels of fucking green shit
Yeah.
from the monsoons out here. It's insane how much.
Oh, those guys,
vegetation.
they suck, man. I'm looking at pictures of them right now.
Oh yeah, and you can't see them with the naked eye.
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
I'll put a picture up.
I've had
I damn
ticks are
sure
the
got
worst. Is that they're like ticks, right? They burrow under your skin.
Yes,
I don't
but
know. I've never seen one.
microscopic. They're related,
Mhm.
but they're
Oh, God.
but they're
Ticks are the-
microscopic, and they don't have a very long lifespan, so they're not real difficult to, Yeah, that's it.
Oh, Eeh.
Oh, you dirty.
But you don't see them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll show you a
that's
picture of what they do to your skin.
Chad, I feel like the more I'm finding out about what you were doing, the less excited I am. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear someone else was doing it, but there's just no way I would be involved in any of this.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be
I'm a little
ironic
bit
as if
surprised I'm
Erickson-
going through all of it, to be honest.
I mean, that's
I-
just disgusting. Oh, look at that.
yeah, I don't have
yeah.
it near that bad. Mine are few and far between.
Just a couple.
Probably have about 9 of them on my whole.
Is
self.
that one bug's damage, or is that like several
That's
bugs?
probably
Like,
a
probably
bunch,
someone
I would
like
imagine.
walking through an area that has a bunch of chiggers.
Stepped on a
Yeah.
chigger pile.
Yeah, rolling around in them.
That looks like it reminds me
Here's
of my
the
grandma's
chigger in the
ankles
wood
for some
pile.
reason.
Damn it. All right.
Those look like my grandma's feet. Good old May. My grandma didn't have chiggers, but she got flea bites, and she would scratch them until they were bloody
Yeah.
all the time.
Did she have fleas like in her house? She must have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cat.
yes.
She have cats and dogs or what?
She had a wiener dog. I don't know why
Yeah.
grandma's. I think she just was like a manic.
Yeah, but
Your
also if
grandma
you have
has fleas. Sounds
if
like
you
it like
don't
a
get
good.
rid of fleas, they'll just remain.
Yeah,
Carpet and shit. She have,
not anymore. She ain't.
well, I mean, not now.
Oh,
I
my
mean, if you
grannies.
have fleas in your house, you have to get rid of the fleas. They don't just
Mhm.
pack up and move on. Generally, they just hang out. and
Yep.
Well, you
stay
got to get
there.
rid of the fleas. You got to get rid of the fleas' eggs,
Right,
or
that's the whole
you're
thing.
just gonna the cycle will just continue.
Circle of life, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck those things. I hate fleas.
Dude, it's
Kill them, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They're
I
fun.
mean, the
They're hard
circus
to
ones
kill.
are cool, but the rest. of
Yeah,
them-
yeah.
fucking.
I know you hate to kill a performer, but how you do it is you get them between your
Every once in a
nails
while.
and squeeze them. Every
Yeah.
once in a while, you get a gymnast you catch.
This
Yeah, I don't like anything that bites into my skin. That's like
Mhm.
That's
this
mosquitoes make me
everyday
feel
rain
dirty.
we have here is fucking. We're so full of mosquitoes, man.
Yeah.
Oh my
You
God.
guys must be like this all the time. I know Alaska is because it's so wet, but
I can't take being when you I will flee mosquitoes because it's just filthy. They're like dirty little needles going around.
yeah.
Yeah. It sucks.
Yep.
You
It
know,
hasn't been too
Did you
bad
just
for
bite my
bugs in
neighbor?
Texas because it has been so dry. So we finally got some rain, but yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
We also got into some fire ants in her little flower garden. So that's what we have.
oh man, fire ants.
Oh, that was
Oh
brutal.
my God. Yeah.
Yeah, it's-
And really, if you think about ants, I was watching a thing about them somewhere. And the way the colony acts like a single organism, right? Like
Yeah.
an ant colony is really like a single animal. The colony is the animal. And it has this capability, like a superhero, of breaking up into a million pieces and then reforming later. So you can't fuck with it too much. Like you can get rid of a whole bunch of it. You can kill, 60 or 70% of it, but it'll survive like any other animal. If you killed 60 or 70% of it, it would be dead. But an
Yeah.
ant colony that, unless you get the queen, but it's
Yeah.
fucked up, man.
It'll just make a smaller deadly ball. That's like
Right.
them.
And just build it back up.
There's a
until-
colony of fire ants floating on the water.
Yeah.
Oh
And I've
my
seen those
God.
videos where they dunk them under, like the whole thing goes
Uh-huh.
under all at once.
just
and
fall up.
Yeah, man.
It's
Crazy
crazy.
shit.
Yeah. So that's what we have. We don't have fleas or
You got snakes out there though. Allison's got rattlesnakes.
Yeah, we do.
Definitely
We do have
snakes.
snakes. But I was talking about chiggers. We don't have chiggers, I
Yeah.
don't think. Probably maybe we do. But we have fire ants in our yard, so
You gonna kill him?
it's brutal. I stay up on the deck.
Amdro.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
That's what we use.
Yeah,
Amdro.
Yeah.
it's a powder. You put it on top of the
Little-
hole in the
little
ground. And
granules.
they take it down with them, and then
We had a big
Party.
we had a big colony out front, and I got rid of them by pouring hot soapy water. I read hot soapy water. I dumped hot soapy water down into all their holes and completely drowned them all. They were done. They never
Murder.
came back. Yeah, oh, I genocided those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
look, this is a thing where like I try to be kind to animals and especially thinking animals, but a fire ant colony is insidious, like
They're
they're
more
trying to
thinking
kill
than a
you.
cat.
I can promise you they're trying to kill you. They might have other plans too. They might have other stuff they're doing, but if they ever get far enough down their own agenda to get to it, it will be kill that person. They won't be like, oh, he's cool. He lives here. Don't bother him. He doesn't bother us. We don't bother him.
Oh.
They don't think that way. They're coming for you. So
You can leave
fucking-
your body to just out for I'm leaving it for natural corpse. Just leave me to
Oh,
rot.
just donate your
Put
body
you
to
on
the
a
body
fire
farm in
hill.
Tennessee.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They,
But where
they
you could
bury,
just
they
be
bury
like-
bodies there so that they can see what happens as they decompose over time for criminal science.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean,
Really?
Yeah, the
Um,
body farm.
they
Yeah.
give you a check ahead of time.
Well, I don't know the details of it.
No, I think they're not.
They save a lot of
accepting
money by
people
giving you the
anymore.
check later.
It's
Yeah.
become very hipstery thing to do. So now they're over full. They don't even take anybody. Same with donating your
Is it-
body to science. There's been so much scandal with people doing the wrong shit with bodies that it's all they don't even take him anymore.
Isn't the hip thing to do now? You get buried in like a tree root thing and like
Mushroom pile.
Mushroom
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
mushroom
become
suit.
like a part of a thing. That's all right, I guess, right? I mean, you got to do something. You just
You
burn
can be
me up. I
compressed
don't care.
into a
Burn
If
me
I
jet.
live
up.
long enough,
No.
I'll be in a pile of other corpses, I assume. Climate or whatever.
Annie,
You're the Holkhams.
don't you want to be cremated?
Well, I mean, I don't know what the Holkhams have planned. I'd like to just show up.
This is like a real Cape Fear situation, only instead of like trying to kill them, you're just like trying to like mooch off of them secretly.
Well,
Like you
I'll tell you
you
this,
could
the
be
Holkhams
hanging on.
leave it
You
clean.
could be strap your belt to the underside of their camper so that you can follow them to all their camps. It's not to murder them and rape their daughter. It's just a pitch your tent on the edge of the place and
Yeah, and take advantage of
Well-
a prepaid campsite.
yeah.
I would have been.
Go get a
I
Cape
mean, I
donut and coffee and some human contact in the morning.
wouldn't have had to set my tent up a couple of times if I, could have just relaxed and rented my own space. But I found
Yeah,
it
no, I know.
exhilarating to steal from the system.
Andy, I've
Good
noticed,
for
I've
Andy. I
noticed
like
that
it.
I
over
do
the
too.
years,
I'm
I've
proud of
noticed
you.
that about you is that you thrive not only observing humans and having a little bit of contact, but also in kind of threat, like weaving the line between illegal or against
Yeah.
the rules and following the rules. Because you
Well,
don't like
also,
anyone doesn't
I
follow
wanted
the
the best
rules. But you definitely don't follow the rules. Like when
I
you go
wouldn't
to
have been
the
able to rent
neighboring
a
hotel
spot
to
as
eat
nice
their
as the-
breakfast.
The Holkhams
Yeah.
made plans probably months ago to camp, and then whatever tragedy befell
One of
them
them
or
got
whatever.
COVID probably.
But there's certain spots that I wouldn't have even wanted to camp on for free. Like loud kids and stuff. There was a
Yeah.
guy who had a guitar. Like no. Then there was also a couple of big American flag waving campers and stuff. And I
Yeah.
don't want to sit and stare at them, and they don't want to stare at me.
Right.
So, but the Holkhams, they chose a nice spot that was up against the dunes, and those you can't, like when I used to camp, you used to be able to drive around and then select a spot and just be there. First come first.
Right.
Now it's like somebody put a reservation down. You can't have that spot.
Well, I mean, think about it now with
Well, they have to save
online.
it. Yeah, they just save the spot.
Yeah, with online, you can see the spot in advance and then pick it. Whereas it used to be you had a brochure from the last time you went through
Well,
there.
But Chaille, understand this, in order
It's
to
10 years
in
ago.
order to see the campsite online, you have to download the app.
You need the app.
And if you don't know how to work the app store, you'll never get the app downloaded.
Yeah, I just want to sit down, plunk down in my camper, play my 8-track player, and not be hassled by no fucking bullshit, you know?
Listen to my Allman Brothers on the 8-track.
Yeah, there's no fucking
Found a few
Wi-Fi
bush
out there.
lights.
I had a cooler. Well, I had packed like 4 beers and I didn't drink any of them.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel the need for beer,
Yeah.
but I was ready to go. Just let loose, you know. Check my
Yeah.
trap line.
I wish I could have sent you the booty that we got
Oh my
Oh, man.
God.
in Grand Rapids.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
That's
Yeah,
all
edibles.
fucking weed, man.
yeah. Now
That
that
is
Doug
insane.
talks about eating edibles, I'm sure that you know, back in the day that somebody'd offer Doug weed, or if I was with him or whatever, and it would just be like, that's something Andy does, and I would take
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
smoke
you'd
all
get
the
it all.
weed and stuff. Now Doug's probably getting extracts handed to him, and
Well, like this thing right here, that's it looks like a test tube.
oh,
That is a
man.
huge cigar, hand rolled marijuana cigar. And then there's some hand rolls there,
I
and then there's
spotted those.
some bud there. So one of the guy, the promoter, he took all that. He's like, I'll take that for real. I can have
Somebody
it.
enjoyed
Take
the
it,
shit
dude.
out of that.
And these things are tinctures of weed that are like 1,000 milligrams each. They're just
Jesus
an old coffee.
Christ.
And
See,
then
why
like,
don't you, why
see on
wouldn't
the
you
bottom
Chaille-
here, this frosting thing, that is a huge Cocoa Crispy, like Rice Krispie treat. That is the entire size of that basket.
Wow.
And it's
That-
frosting with Cocoa Krispies. Yeah, it was a real shame. It was the first
That's
time.
like
we
a
saw her.
Why
that's like a
didn't you at
Snoop
least-
Dogg situation.
Why didn't you at least take the fucking bottle of tincture? You could throw that in with your other shit. No one's ever gonna notice it.
I
No
don't
one's
think
gonna-
I don't know,
Snacks,
man.
right?
States, yeah, I guess in some states you can't have it.
We
How
don't
many-
drive with the drugs, man.
I know.
I know, but I
know.
mean, you could throw that in in your suitcase, and no one's ever.
You could, and you'd never be on our tour again. So
What do you mean? When I was on tour with you guys, I crotched
careful what you
mushrooms
say now.
for weeks,
Wait.
like in 2 weeks. I crotched them
minute.
every night.
You guys let me have weed.
Yeah.
I
I
We
carried
understand,
didn't,
Chaille.
because we didn't think you would make it to the morning.
Chaille,
Right.
I understand.
Right.
that
No,
you
it was a
don't-
good choice, but I had weed from Colorado forward.
Yeah.
I just think the bottle, you could put that in with your toiletries, and no one would ever fucking look
Yeah.
at it.
Or
Like,
pour off some into a water bottle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Toss it
I
in
mean,
with your
this is-
crunk.
Put
We
those,
just left
put
it
those
for all the
snacks in a
artists coming
Ziploc
up.
Bag.
Well, that's
that?
very sweet of you to leave it for all the other people, but now that Doug's a pot smoker and
He doesn't smoke pot.
well, an edible,
Pot
I'm
eater.
surprised that some of that didn't make the cut. honestly.
Cannabis
Like tonight
disciple
in
or user.
like tonight in where are we? Cleveland. Man, I would love a couple
Yeah.
of them gummies.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are those caramels
Shame,
behind
real
you too?
shame.
Those are chocolate dipped muddy bears, but they're handmade.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And then there looks like a watermelon something over there.
No, they're like orange slices, but they're all
Ah,
gummies. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
And then right here, this thing right here, each one of those dials is a white milk chocolate, and each one of them is 25 milligrams. And that is like that's like a large entree size.
Did you get this
from the
person's
deli.
name?
That's a perfect dose.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
what
A
is
great
it?
company
Medusa
that
Farms.
sponsors us.
Medusa
Oh.
Farms. They're
Our
great.
favorite sponsor, our new sponsor,
Our new
Medusa
sponsor
Farm.
is Medusa Farms.
If you get a
Wow.
chance to go out there, it's just like a family farm, and it's like
Yeah.
integrity.
When you're on
Field
when
trip.
you're on
Yeah, let's
Medusa
take a
Farms,
field trip, guys.
when you go to Medusa Farms, you'll be turned to stoned.
That's what it says.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for Medusa Farms, forever stoned.
Yeah, well, you get turned to stoned.
Yeah. Yeah, there's even like
there are-
here's some banana. This is a blueberry muffin right here. There was a little thing
Ooh.
of like a banana bread or something. Yeah, they were very. We kept telling them, hey, we can't go with this. This is the first night of the tour. We got a whole week of driving all these states. We don't know what's going on in these states, and they didn't listen to us. They just kept telling us everything. And then we just shut up and, all right, thanks.
None of it went to waste. Somebody
no.
is incredibly happy. Right.
The guy who ran the club was like, dude, if you want to leave it in the green room, I'll put a note on it that says compliments to Doug Stanhope and we'll leave it there for them. And I go, hey, all you have to do is tell me that. I don't even care if you do that. You can just give it to your staff.
Right.
Take these to some dying people, sick people.
Just the fact that, the good folks at Medusa Farms were willing to put a package like that together shows you that they care about their product and they care about you, the customer, in ways that most of your other marijuana dealers aren't going to care about it. Like when you visit Cal and Jenny at Medusa Farms, you really feel like you're one of the family, because they understand that the edibles that you're taking and the what were the tinctures, the tinctures. These are the kind of things that, it's important. You're going to be taking these things every day. It's going to be part of your regular daily existence, and they're going to be with you all day long, every day. And
can you imagine a big spoonful of that in Death Valley?
Oh man!
Start the day off with then have one of the lovely muffins.
That would be great.
By the way, it's Rick and Mary from Medusa Farms. Yeah,
like I said. Well, we got a good editor. He'll fix that.
Yeah,
Rick
fix it up.
and Mary come out to Death Valley.
Oh, Rick and Mary at Medusa. You'll be turned to stoned when you stop by their store at in Elkhart, Indiana, on the
it's Grand Rapids.
Highway 59, and right up in Grand Rapids.
Oh yeah,
just south of the Gerald Ford Museum, and right up from the Amway headquarters, just around the corner. You go
I
to the
didn't
next
think
light,
about
you hang
that.
left, Medusa Farms, turn to stoned. Rick and Mary, say hello, tell them Issues with Andy sent you, and you will get 35% off your care package.
And that'll give you 10% off.
Your savings may vary.
Situation, results may vary, but they're really good people up there.
Yeah, I do want to show you this place we're at tonight. It's an old, I don't know. It seems like it's an old train station or something, but check this fucking place out.
Whoa. Oh, we've stayed there before.
Yeah.
I stayed there with you.
Oh, that's a hotel.
That was the night, Chaille, that we all went out. We had a night off there, and we all went out, and we were hanging out in the Sklar Brothers one.
Oh, okay. When was that? We were trying to figure that out.
I don't remember when, but whenever we were touring in Cleveland, Doug had to go talk to the Sklar Brothers, and we were like, ha, you have to go talk to the Sklar Brothers. We're not famous like you are, Doug Stanhope. Guess what? We get to go do whatever the fuck we want, and you got to go hang out with the fucking Sklar Brothers.
Was that after a show at the Improv?
Maybe the Improv or the Funny Bone. They have a Funny Bone there.
We've done the Improv 3 times out here.
I was thinking it might have even been I don't know. I think it was only like we did it only a Sunday night, and then we stayed there an extra night or something.
Yeah. Well, I'll let Eric or Doug know that you were the one on the tour with the Sklar Brothers.
Yeah, I had probably a pants full of mushrooms or something. I was been hauling around. I remember that we got a whole bag of mushrooms in Minnesota, and I carried them with me, and I was microdosing before it was even a term. I was just eating little bits of the mushrooms but I kept them the whole time. Mm-hmm. And Doug's like, don't keep those. And I'm like, well, I'm definitely keeping these. So I'm not going to tell you, and it's just going to be fine. I'll take the risk. No one has to know. And it was fine. I think he kind of knew, but he just decided not to say anything. It was worth it. Totally worth it.
I agree that you think it's worth it.
Keith Richards thought the same thing. Put the whole operation in trouble.
Well,
the
yeah,
venue out, we're not doing the improv anymore out here. It's Hilarity's moved to a place called Pickwick and Frolic, which is a weird name, but it's an old theater and it is fucking beautiful. The whole downstairs is the venue, and upstairs is a restaurant and a bunch of stuff, and it's fucking great. You know, I mean, we were really blown away.
yeah, nice.
Improv's kind of a
What's the road like? I mean, you guys have done a bunch of touring since COVID, but are people like, it's, COVID like keeps coming back. Are people, is it a thing anywhere?
no.
I live in Texas where no one has given a fuck about COVID since we got here over a year ago.
First night on the tour at Grand Rapids, Doug noticed in the crowd there was one guy with a mask on, and Doug goes like, "Hey, just tell me, dude. I'm not picking on the audience or anything like that. Just why, like, you're wearing a mask. I'm just wondering, like what's it like? Because no one else in here, from what I can see, is wearing a mask, and you've got like a surgical mask, like the blue ones, right?" And the guy goes, he pulls it down. He goes, "I got a nose job today," and his fucking nose is all purple, and he had plastic surgery earlier that day and went out with the mask on because it was hideous. That's the only, I mean, there's a couple people here and there wearing masks, but not really.
So it's not like it's a thing anymore anywhere else. I just
Well,
wonder.
I think it is, but it's Doug's crowd. I don't think it is with
They don't
Doug's
give a
crowd.
fuck. Right.
Yeah.
They're all long haulers, alcoholics.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, and the shows are great. They're all. I mean, they've got we've got a couple of new venues on here. They're totally new. So was really surprised. Like Detroit, we've never been in Detroit, which is a little scary. Detroit can be overwhelming, the city itself, and yeah, then they got a brand new fucking club called House of Comedy. It's fucking great. It's only been open since June, so yeah, it's good. It's back.
All right, good deal. Look at that, America's back, baby.
Yeah,
it's all happening. Right on.
For now, America.
There's Detroit right there.
Nice. That's
Get ready for
Detroit.
the show. Yeah.
That's Dr. Detroit right there in the front of the picture.
The venue is actually right across the street from I don't Co-America or something. All the stadiums change every 2 years.
The Detroit Tigers baseball.
It's the Tiger Stadium. Yeah, it's like right there. So it's kind of fucked up because Co-America. But like, man, when there's something going on at the stadium, I don't know how anything goes on in that city because they've always got construction going on. And then you got, everyone's got a flag getting you to try and park in their, overpriced lot. I don't know how the city moves. Or
is there construction or are they tearing shit down? I didn't know anyone was.
I
think they should be happy if they're doing construction in Detroit. That's like
infrastructure stuff. But, like even down the street here in the middle of Cleveland, there's a 100-foot crane in the middle of the street and the street's blocked off on 4th Avenue, like right down here.
Haven't you heard Joe Biden's putting America back to work?
Back to work.
It's called the Inflation Reduction Act, Chaille.
Oh, got it.
Thanks, Uncle Joe. Can't wait to join my brothers.
I'm not complaining about construction. I like infrastructure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could use that shit now and again, especially when the roads start buckling, when temperatures rise a little more.
We have a spot on our busy street right out behind our house, Riverside Avenue here in Austin. And there's like a little creek a couple houses away that runs through the other half of the subdivision. And it runs under Riverside, and there's like a little culvert and stuff that they have for it. But it's clearly, the road above it has caved in, and it's caving in farther. It hasn't buckled the road yet, but there's a drop that's it's like a foot or a foot and a half over a big span. You can just see the whole thing is sunk. And I was complaining about the garbage here. I mean, people do just throw their garbage out. That is definitely a thing here. But also, anytime anybody with a pickup truck full of shit, or anybody pulling a trailer, heaven forbid, pulling a fucking trailer, even worse, pulling a trailer they built themselves, it's coming apart when they hit this fucking bump. So the whole of the next like 50 yards is just scattered with debris and trailer parts and wood, like big chunks of wood. And it's
flying
just,
out.
oh my God, it's insane. Yeah. Fix our roads.
Don't mess
Do
with
some
Texas.
infrastructure.
Yeah, Texas. Don't mess with Texas at all. It's fucking
Leave it the way it is.
Leave it alone.
yeah, man. I like your handicapped governor. Unscrupulous fucking crippled bastard.
He wants to be president too, so they're all trying to out fucking
fucking
Hitler each other.
Oh,
Arizona's
Tougher
trying
they
to
can
outdo
be.
all of you guys. This fucking place is going. This whole thing is wild.
Well, you guys are out of fucking control there, Chad. It's funny that you live in one of the craziest places politically. Like you are really that Arizona is really batshit crazy. And it's too bad that you're not interested in this because it is a real fucking Falcon's Crest situation going on.
Here's the thing.
Arizona right
I
now.
have to deal with the end result, and I'm going to ignore it until I cannot ignore it anymore. And let's just say I'm a hoarder.
Yeah.
But I only hoarded ammunition. So.
Yeah.
This place will go nuts first, probably like that. Martial law, just fucking Wild West.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't interfere with the NFL, I feel like, a couple of weeks of civil war would ruin the season.
Uh-huh.
Everybody already burned their NFL merchandise. They're no longer participating in this.
Remember all the Republicans boycotted the NFL when some of the players kneeled, disrespected our soldiers. So
and they had a deal with the NFL had a deal with the soldiers to honor them. The military paid the NFL to honor them. And that's why it was disrespectful for Kaepernick to step out of corporate line. And I guess he isn't a good quarterback.
Colin.
I don't know. I'm gonna guess he probably just isn't a good NFL quarterback now because he doesn't get a chance in that. I'm not saying Deshaun Watson shouldn't get a second chance because but here's the thing: is like just hire a whore. You don't need to have a masseuse.
So I don't know if Chaille and Chad know the Deshaun Watson situation. Deshaun Watson was a quarterback for the Houston Texans, and he would get massages all the time.
Oh yeah.
The girls to jack him off or fuck him or give him a blowjob. I don't even know really. I guess I don't care to know the details.
But he always wanted an upgrade, and these were like
awkwardly sexually confront them at the end and try to some would do it, some wouldn't, some were but I mean it's like 20 or 30 people have said
it's
that this happened.
60. It's over 60. I just heard a podcast on this.
That's Cosby like. So then
you got to cast a wide net if you want to catch any fish, guys. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like his rejection rate was such that it would have just been like, this isn't working,
Yeah, a few awkward situations, and you're like, I gotta get a new MO here. It's not. This is not giving me results.
Well, if you make that much money, just pay for it, right? There's people that do that.
That's not it. It's a power thing.
Yeah,
it's a power thing.
And
he's a fucking millionaire who's finding his fucking sports medicine therapist on Craigslist. He's going to people's homes to do this to like go through his scenario, which he goes over, like you say, through a wide net. He was hitting bunches of them, and it's like, you're a millionaire. What the fuck is your problem? Why are you going to someone at their house for your sports medicine?
This guy last year, he played for the Houston Texans, and they didn't play him last year because of this.
Yeah. So he's and then he's suspended for a whole other season.
He got traded to the Cleveland Browns. And the interesting part about that to me is that the Cleveland Browns already had a quarterback whose name is Baker Mayfield, who's the guy who was the #1 pick in the draft years ago, and he's been okay. He
He's
hasn't
in
been
all the
great.
commercials during the fucking.
All the commercials where
all the
he's
spot
like
breaks.
living in the stadium and he has to go down and turn the coffee maker off, and it's like, oh, did you shut the lights? Oh, I'm sorry, honey, and he has to walk all the way back through it. It's a whole thing. Like, he was a big
The
shot.
yard sale.
And it's just amazing to me that a team would be like, look, maybe Deshaun Watson is better than Baker Mayfield. He is, I guess. But the fact that you'd be like, all right, we're going to give this guy all this money, and he's got all these, allegations and, civil suits and everything happening. Like, you don't think that the guy who is, Baker Mayfield might not have been great, but he seems like he's less of a problem than this.
Yeah.
This seems
Well,
like
here's
you
the
have
thing
just,
too.
you have just, you knew this was going to be bad and you just did it to yourselves. Now he can't play for half the season or more or something. And it's just like a fucking.
Do you imagine having like Ted Bundy, like under contract and go, okay, man, you can't murder anybody anymore.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
well, all right,
these
'cause
guys
that's the thing,
took Ted Bundy after they knew he was Ted Bundy.
Right. And then with Deshaun is they
And paid him $230 million guaranteed contract.
They gave him a bunch of money and a bunch more money, and then now they're giving him a vacation of a year. What's he gonna do but fucking sit
Read
around
the
his place
fence.
going, man, I need a massage.
I'm all stressed out.
Yeah.
It's
There's a
gonna
hole in my
happen
bucket.
way before he gets back to the NFL. It's just, it's like Jared, the Subway guy and kids. He's like, God damn it. Like Jared
Yeah.
got to a point where he's like fucking talking to older people about it. Like, oh no, that chick or whatever. It's like, I don't want to hear this Deshaun.
So here's
Jared.
another football related thing. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I've been reading about this. I haven't seen it yet. Carrie Mitchell watched it. I don't know if you watched it. This could slowly bring us into our recommendation section because we're kind of getting to that time. And this isn't my recommendation, but I wanted to bring it up because we're talking about Deshaun Watson. But there's a Netflix documentary out. I think it's on Netflix about Manti Te'o. Who's the Notre Dame football player who got catfished back when no one knew what catfishing was. And everyone made fun of him because he's a dipshit for getting catfished and tricked for years by this person. And apparently, if you watch this documentary, you'll have a whole new outlook on the situation. And you will think that this poor kid is like the sweetest kid in the world. He's like this really nice guy and just generally a good person and very trusting and gullible and nice.
Yeah.
And this person just completely fucking ruined his life.
Right. He doesn't even get that. I mean, I watched and he doesn't.
Did watch it?
He's like, damn, you can tell he's, he's been damaged by it, and he's still just, I don't think he gets to what degree that person, made him who he is. Like, they fucked him, and then instead of him being the #1 or whatever hot draft pick or going into a thing, it's like that weird story. And it's like you said, it was a story you only kind of got the edges of and didn't quite understand the specifics of. And this documentary really tells you how it all played out.
We all made fun of him.
It's called Untold, the girlfriend who didn't exist, and it's on Netflix.
I watched the trailer of it, and I'm glad you said what it is, because I didn't want to watch it because it didn't make any sense, because I never heard of the story. So it didn't make any sense to me, the trailer. And now that you say it was catfish, then that puts in perspective that makes sense.
Doug saw it, and he says it's totally great.
It all blew up like right around the time that Notre Dame was about to play Alabama in the national championship game. Like, it all blew up for him at the exact worst time. Like, it was a perfect storm of bad news.
If he hadn't brought it up to the reporter or
he said something about his girlfriend, right?
Girlfriend dying, and then and that's, if he hadn't said that, then it wouldn't.
And the reporter,
it became like the media wanted to. They always want a story.
They want that,
and he had a story, and they fucking grabbed it. And then the whole season, it's like when my dog died, and everybody put black tape on their helmet. It's like everybody's like down with his whole thing, and the what they do, they did something to to honor her or something, and it turns out it was not what he thought.
And this poor bastard he actually, I mean, it probably broke him. Again, I haven't seen it, and you guys obviously have. I'm sure it destroyed him mentally at the worst time for him. But I don't know that even though he was a really good college player, he was one of those guys who was probably not going to be a big NFL player anyway.
Yeah,
He was like a good college player, really good, but he didn't have the size to play at the next
He had a
level.
pretty good career, but he was like an undersized. I think he,
Yeah, he played a couple
he
years.
was used in like certain situations, but he wasn't on the field all the time.
Yeah. But he's a better person than Deshaun Watson is. That's for goddamn sure.
I mean, come
Well,
on.
Deshaun Watson got 230 million.
I know. I mean, Manateo, he got criticized, and he was just waiting for to meet some girl or whatever. And
Yeah,
like while
he
he
just
was in
wanted it.
college, he had a fucking girlfriend that he was true to it seemed like it wasn't real.
Yeah. And the first week of the season, I'm pretty sure that the Cleveland Browns play the Carolina Panthers, which is the team that took Baker Mayfield in a
That's
trade.
where Mayfield is, yeah.
So Baker Mayfield's first game will be against Cleveland Browns, which makes for a pretty good opening week. Of
the crazy part about that documentary is how the dude was able to do a voice of the girlfriend, and he did it, and then nobody thought it could really be him. And then he went and he had the proper sitting, and he nails the voice, but it's a real.
So it was Harry Shearer from The Simpsons,
right? Yeah. It's kind of like that. Yeah, he had a whole other character.
They're not booing you, sir. They're saying boo earns, boo earn.
There's a whole bunch of those on Netflix. I haven't watched any of them yet, but if they're all called Untold. If you just search Untold on there, there's like one of them is Malice in the Palace that you guys talked about.
Yeah. Someone put that on the on Patreon on the comments.
And there's the chick, the first female boxer that rose to fame. Like there's a whole bunch of those like behind the story shit, but it's all stories I don't know about, so it'll be fun for me to check out.
Right on. All right, let's roll into our recommendation section and see what we've been checking out this week. I'll just start this week. I have a thing I watched on Netflix. I loved it. It's some guys who were from LA. When I worked at the Comedy Store podcast studio, they had a podcast down there, and they were funny ass kids. And we were like, these kids are fucking stupid. And they got fired from the Comedy Store because the guy that they hired at the Comedy Store to run the podcast studio wasn't good at comedy. He didn't get it. But he fired these two kids because they drank ayahuasca on their podcast and they threw up all over the basement of the podcast of the Comedy Store on a Sunday afternoon at like 2:00 in the afternoon. And this girl, Megan, who worked down there, got really mad at them and she had to clean it up. And she was like, these fucking little assholes. And I was like, I think they're funny. They're stupid. So they moved on to all things comedy and became who they are and what they are. It's Chad and JT Go Deep, and they're a couple of dummies, and it's really funny. And it's basically a prank show in which they kind of weave a very loose storyline thread through what their pranks are and make it, a thing. They're fucking hilarious. They're the two guys who you've seen the clips of them when they would go to the city council meetings and speak about like keeping scooters legal on the streets of Santa Monica and shit like that. And they would jump up there and they would be like, what up, council?
Like, house parties. I remember those.
Yeah. So they got an official Netflix show, which is produced by Tim Heidecker of Tim and Eric.
Tim and Eric, yeah.
Yeah. So, which is the perfect person to hone their thing and point it in the right direction. And Chad and JT Go Deep is Mitchell and I watched it, binged it and giggled like stupid idiots the whole time. I mean, it's Beavis and Butthead meets Jackass a little bit, fucking they're funny.
Solid.
I was in the woods a lot, so I didn't watch a lot of stuff, but I did yesterday watch a new thing that came out, and I've only seen the first episode, but I do like it. Is that Little Demon? Danny DeVito is the devil, and his daughter
it's a cartoon.
Yes.
Okay.
It's pretty goddamn hilarious. I think one of the dudes involved was like one of the guys from Rick and Morty, so it's along those lines.
Dan Harmon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you hear about DeVito's tweeting during it?
Well, that's what turned me on to it, because I saw that and I go, what the fuck is going on with Danny DeVito? And then when I saw it, he was live tweeting that premiere. And then
without mentioning it, like there were some weird tweets. If you just like, whoa, what's going on with Danny DeVito? But he forgot the hashtag it. He was doing that, which is hilarious that he didn't
he's just talking about the devil and shit.
Oh yeah, like his daughter is the Antichrist. It is vulgar and fucking
That's funny. Oh, I'll check that out. That's on so this is this. See, this is where I have to step up. You have recommended, your real recommendation, Chad, is pay for the Hulu Live so that you can watch the Hulu Live shit, because I just feel like
I've slowly just been cutting out most of my other stuff because Hulu Live is the one that I use most. The Hulu, the whole thing. So
I was going to get cable just so I could watch soccer games. And I thought, well, most of the Premier League I can get on Peacock. I have Peacock, and then the other ones that are on USA, I can just kind of get an illegal stream of those. I can find one, and I'm usually pretty good at that. But what I didn't realize is that you
put it on the Holkhams.
Yeah, I put it on the Holkhams tab. You can't do that. Like the one station that really is hard to do is ESPN for whatever reason. If they have better like countermeasures or whatever it is, I have no idea. But last night, Austin FC played LAFC for the two top teams in the west of the MLS, and it was a fucking Austin beatdown. And I tried to watch it on an illegal stream, but it wouldn't come in. I was like, fuck, if I would have just gotten cable like I said I was going to. Turns out the soccer game I can't watch is my my home team here.
I have
never even assumed they'd ever be on TV. I didn't even think about it.
So part of my Hulu package that Jenny got has ESPN and Disney Channel is like the whole thing.
You have the premiere though.
I'll just show you I'll text you my
Sweet.
password. You can just log into ESPN with my thing and watch ESPN stuff.
Thank
they
you.
should do a Disney. They should do a Disney.
So we don't let them know we're doing this, but yeah, thanks.
They should do a Disney after hour called Woke Disney. It's just like spicy shows.
Gay stuff.
So my recommendation, I think, I don't know if anyone mentioned it before, is Woodstock '99.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug Stanhope.
He keeps popping in out of that little demon thing like a little imp. What's up, Stanhope?
Wow. He looks like he just shaved his head again.
Man. That was creepy.
So Woodstock 99, three-parters, and it just shows you what a bunch of assholes dudes are at concerts.
Well, the shit that went down.
Didn't we dedicate like 1 or 2 episodes of this entire podcast to talking about this show?
I saw it. I finally saw it.
So when we had the episode about it, you just talked about it. You had seen it.
Yeah,
it's crazy, right?
That's why I thought it seemed familiar. Yeah, it was like it reminded me of the January 6th footage, and we probably talked about that too. But just the same kind of momentum of just fucking I'm glad, like when I've been involved in group stuff, like you
mean
have
group
to
stuff?
Well, like knocking down the goalpost at a football game or being involved in the Portland riots. I'm just like bored with it, It's like, I mean, when I was on the goalpost, I was drunk and I was into it. But when I went to the riots as a member of Antifa and shit, it's like, what are we trying to do, man? We just like, I mean, I guess the ultimate thing is you stay there long enough to get hit with rubber bullets. Like, well, I don't know about that part, but this is cool. I'm supporting you guys and everything. But it's not fucking, it's exhausting to be like, I mean, those guys kicking in the plywood and shit. Like, how many kicks did it take you? You're giving it one for the team, man.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
January
I mean, yeah,
6th.
we went over all this when we
Yeah.
had those 2 episodes.
All
So
right. 2 episodes ago.
where we
Damn
talked
it.
at length about Woodstock 99. Yeah. So
Damn it. Well-
my recommendation is just going to be an agreement with Black Phone. Isn't that the one, Chad?
Oh,
Chad-
yeah.
Who brought up Black Phone? The movie
We
Black
talked
Phone with
about it
Ethan
2
Hawke.
episodes ago. I just saw that too, though.
Wasn't that Chad? Didn't you bring that up, or is this?
I might have.
Ethan Hawke.
We were talking about Ethan Hawke, I think.
Yeah, that's
Kids
Stephen
getting-
King's son that wrote that. Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, that's Joe Hill.
Yeah, so that we watched that the other day, yesterday, as a little treat. Doug bought us all a movie, and it was good. And it's Blumhouse. And
Did you know that fucking Brad Pitt is in the movie Butter?
In Butter?
I didn't know there was a movie Butter.
Yeah.
Doug's been drinking because it's a day off, and he's been drinking down at the bar.
Is the black
yeah.
phone ringing in Chaille's room?
Yeah.
You guys like the Black Phone?
Black Phone's really good.
Black Phone. I've
Really
been
good.
looking forward to
Yeah.
watching it, but I have so much streaming shit that I want to wait for. I hate to pay for stuff when I can wait.
Yeah.
It usually comes out.
I think Black Phone might be available right now. I don't know.
It was on Peacock. It's streaming on Peacock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Is
it's
it?
available somewhere. Carrie Mitchell watched it, and I don't mean to create divisions here on the podcast, but she thought it was absolutely terrible. One of the stupidest movies she's ever seen. So
Okay.
just I'm not lying.
He's not saying that,
here's
so
my
I think you
critique
might
of
be.
it.
I've
kind
never
of-
seen it. I never watched
Yeah.
it. But I'm just telling you, that's
It seems like it
she
seemed
loves
like
Ethan Hawke, but no.
it
terrible
seemed like
film.
he was a little reluctant for a child abductor to actually go molest the kid. You know, it's like
there was
he's alluding to it, but he's like, just go
Yeah, yeah,
molest him
yeah,
already.
yeah.
I mean, I don't want to see it, but it's always like alluded to, or they talk about it in movies. They ought to just fucking get right down to it. I mean,
Well, I
not-
mean, that was the suspense. Was that why isn't he killing him? He kept wondering why, and that's
why isn't he fucking him? That's what I was
Well,
thinking. It's
I
like
mean-
he's gonna molest him, and you know, it's like, dude, you're not even gonna get your fingers wet. You know, what'd you go to the trouble for? I can't show
There's
you
a
that.
reason why, Andy, and it was,
I know,
covered
I
in the
can't.
movie.
But you know, yeah. it
I
seemed
got,
like that.
we gotta wrap this up. This is,
All right, yeah.
I got other things to contend
Doug,
with.
yeah,
over
you
here.
gotta fucking go clean Junior's clothes. Is Junior with you?
I said wrapping
All
up. I didn't say it's
All right.
over.
God
No,
damn
that's
it.
it. It's done. We did it.
Well,
We
he-
did
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
also,
yeah.
He's now
we're-
taking phone calls in the room.
Just to I don't know, I have a lot of stuff to recommend, and I'm kind of drunk. I forgot to eat today.
Recommend something.
I'm listening to the audiobook Alive about the
The
plane
plane
crash.
crash.
holy shit, I've never listened to that, read that book or listened to it. That's really pretty cool
Yeah.
audiobook. And there was something else and I forgot. But
You'll remember. For
oh, one of the ones that I recommended before is now on Hulu. When I recommended it, it had to be rented, but the On the Count of Three, the one with
Oh yeah,
Rod Carmichael,
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
now on Hulu.
Yeah.
And I watched it
Hulu
again,
segment.
and really good.
Interesting. All right. That's all. Is that Hulu Live or just regular Hulu?
Just Hulu, I think.
All right, cool. I'll check it out. All right. Thank you guys for being out there, and thanks for bearing with us when we try to throw these together when our schedules don't line up so much. So we were like, ah, fuck, what are we gonna do? We could try to force this thing. There just wasn't a way. So we took a couple weeks off, and probably another like one before this one, and possibly one, I don't know, maybe one after this one, because Chad's gonna go shoot beautiful living, breathing
Turkeys.
animals.
Turkeys.
And,
Turkey.
you know,
I call them friends.
yeah.
I
So,
probably,
He's shaving his head now. He
Well,
can't wait
I
5
probably
minutes.
will not see a
His neck.
turkey where I'm going.
We'll be back sometime soon. You know, you'll be fine without us. You can go back and watch some old episodes. Honestly, there's no way. Look, this is legitimately episode 182. There's no way you've seen 181 episodes of the show. I'm fucking positive of it. There's no way. Even the most diehard ones. you haven't seen them all.
Go back
There's
2
gotta be one you've
episodes.
never seen. Go back and watch Pilot, My Pilot. Go watch number 1. See where it all started. Get a taste of how far this show has progressed and how far it's come. Go back and do that. Just, stop putting so much fucking pressure on us all the time.
And we were inundated with requests from people to let them catch up. So we have
Yeah,
to
in fact,
what people want.
yeah, that's
So
it. That's the
let
tip.
them catch up.
That's
what
the
we
that's
said.
right. That's what it was.
I'm
We did
still
this
healing,
together.
man. I'm still healing.
That's right. So we love you
Uh,
guys. Join our Patreon, and what you'll see over there is the same sort of whiny shit you see over here. It'll be us complaining about how hard we work for you and how we're amazed that it works and on any level. But we love you. It's only $5 a month, and we do some fun stuff over there too. And if you sign up, that would be great. We would love you for it. So thank you. We'll see you again soon. It may not be the next Friday, but it'll be the next Friday after that for sure, if it's not before then. We love you, and be well later.
Look
Yeah.
at Stano going to bed. Good night, Stano.
Oh man.
Love
Somebody
you.
somebody better jack him off.
Have fun, sir.
Erickson.
Give him the Deshaun Watson. What's he asking?
Massage.
Doug wants to know who was with us, Erickson, when we met the Sklar's at that bar.
Oh man. In
Better
Cleveland.
rhyme too. It
I
has
can't
to
hear
rhyme.
you.
Sklar's bar. Was it
No, here.
I
this
think
is
it
my
was-
King
spot.
Natar?
It had to have been Jeff Tate. It had to have been on that run where I got my finger smashed in Indiana. In the door.
We went this far east. But yeah,
I think it was, well, maybe, I don't know.
but I can't remember what venue we would have played where we were staying at this.
It was a place
weird
where,
downtown hotel.
it was the venue was like either a Funny Bone or an Improv. It was a named comedy club. And it was like weird, like on the river or something. And we
It's the
All
Improv.
right.
we took a limo to
Probably
it.
is close to here.
Yeah.
We took a limo to it. I remember that too. It was like dumb. They sent a limo for no reason. And we're like, oh, I guess we'll ride up in this limo.
Wow.
Because
And
we
it
were
was a
staying
Sunday
here.
night. I remember too. It was
We're
also
staying
a
here.
Sunday night.
Yeah, it was definitely Sunday night because I remember watching football during the day, trying not to get too drunk.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he got stuck with the Sklar brothers.
right across from this venue after.
Yeah, exactly right.
But why would we pick this hotel?
The venue probably did.
Not
Yeah.
if it's a Hilarities hotel. I don't know. Here, Tracy.
Maybe they had a deal. All right.
This should be the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, this will be at the end.
No, you guys,
See, he just gave the microphone back and now he's talking again. I got my own fucking issues with Andy here with Stanhope.
I was just gonna say your wife and Chaille's wife should be working the martini bar at this fucking place.
How is that place?
Oh,
It's fucking, but they're
Amazing.
not open because they can't get staff. And that should be a fucking speakeasy, fucking booked a year out kind of bar.
It's gorgeous.
So-
Send pictures.
It's gorgeous.
Chaille will send pictures. I just.
I'll do a
think it's
walkthrough
there
tomorrow.
for-
I want it just for myself. This fucking place is
Now you want us to
insane.
move to Cleveland?
No,
Yeah.
we'd never go to Cleveland.
I await further orders.
Uh,